Welcome to the Inclusive Opportunities and Universal Design ONEOF100 Summit and Global Awards Ceremony, hosted by PAC Global. Introducing PAC President and CEO, Jim Downham.
Good day. I'd like to offer a warm welcome to our international audience to the PAC Global ONEOF100 Summit. The Purpose-Centered Packaging Leaders event was originally created to host and celebrate the PAC Global Awards. Historically, we call it 001. That's me trying to make it super cool, like Bond, James Bond. We've hosted it in New York, and our next tour stop is London. But once again, the pandemic has gotten in our way. This year, our virtual event will make 7 different international stops around the world. It's truly global. Welcome, my name is Downham, James Downham. I know it doesn't quite have the same cachet as Bond, but I am the privileged CEO of this great organization called PAC Global. Last year, our summit was named Diversity of Thought. On that occasion, we issued a call to action to champion packaging design by everyone for everyone. Here we are 12 months later, and our PAC IOU initiative is being showcased today. The IOU brand has a double meaning. Of course, we all know what IOU means. And the acronym stands for Inclusive Opportunities in Universal Design. It is the inspiration and name of this year's summit. Our mission today is to educate and inspire you to engage in the inclusive and universal package design conversation. You will hear from international leaders on their own IOU package design journey. Today, I'm excited to be in the Glenn Davis Group Agency. Hey, Ron.
Hello, Jim. Welcome to our Davis and Bridgemark agencies today.
So great to see you, and thank you so much for hosting us today. We love being in your space, and you've been a great supporter over the years. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure.
We're going to take you on a journey today, starting here in Toronto. I will hand off to our inclusion provocateur, Steve McGuinness. Steve can be found halfway around the world in the outback jungles of Thailand. We may even find Steve swimming with elephants. From Chiang Mai, Thailand, we're going to jettison off to the UK to join Gavin Greenhalgh, Group Creative Director of Air Global in his Leeds agency. Gavin will share his passion about accessible package design. He will introduce you to 2 of the world's pioneers and leaders on the subject, Pete Matthews and Mark Powell. Next stop on the journey is sunny Murcia, Spain, to meet Javier Pita, the creator of Navilens. His digital technology will literally change people's lives. Javier is a true inspiration. After a break to check your social, you will be zipped back to the UK to meet a truly remarkable woman. Sam Latif is Procter & Gamble's first ever accessibility leader. She will share her wise words and inspire you to get in the game. Back across the pond one more time to the sunshine in Naples, Florida, to join Victoria Watts. Victoria is a passionate mother of Cyrus, her youngest child, who was born with a visual impairment. Victoria set off on her own journey to offer the visually impaired the same experience and ability to enjoy beauty just as her sighted friends. You'll love this one, folks. After flying north, we will conclude back in Toronto with entrepreneur Jacqueline Dawes. Jax is a true visionary who has embedded inclusion as a way of life in her manufacturing business. Many of us know in the packaging community the legend Ellen MacArthur, who broke the solo record for sailing over 27,000 nautical miles non-stop around the world in 71 days, 14 hours, 18 minutes, and 33 seconds. Today, we're proudly expect to complete that globetrot in less than 4 hours. Please take this journey with me and listen to these amazing leaders who are changing people's lives one package at a time. And along the journey, we will enjoy the celebration of exceptional package brand design and innovation. We will showcase the power of packaging. It is not easy to win a PAC Global Award. This is not the People's Fave Package Awards. Our mission is to prioritize quality over quantity, global versus regional, and to champion packaging for everyone, by everyone. The PAC Award legacy dates back to 1952. They are often referred to as the oldest packaging awards in North America. We pride ourselves that our nonprofit consortium delivers a world-class packaging competition purely for the love of packaging and the industry. This year, our entries were sold in 25 countries around the world. They were critiqued and judged by 84 judges spanning 12 countries, truly global in scale. Thank you to our judges for your dedication in scoring of the award winners. And thank you, PAC Global Awards Executive Committee, for providing guidance in the development of this summit and selecting the best of show winners. So, while I prepare to board the supersonic jet to Thailand, I'd like to introduce the first winners of the PAC Global Awards.
Welcome to the PAC Global Awards presentation and celebration, celebrating the craft of package brand design and innovation, the intersection of greatness. A big thank you to our generous flagship event sponsors, Davis in Toronto, Canada, and Air Global in the United Kingdom. Thank you for letting us film in your beautiful locations and bring this virtual event to life. Thank you also to our platinum sponsors, Club Coffee, Coho Creative, Invoke Brands, Klockner Pentaplast, Marks, Pro Am-Pac, Procter & Gamble, TC Transcontinental, Victoria Land, and WestRock. The PAC Global Awards are comprised of 3 main categories and 14 subcategories: brand marketing, package innovation, and our new category this year, PAC IOU. Each subcategory will include Award of Distinction winners and Best in Class winners. The grand finale today will include our big winners, Best of Show, and PAC IOU. All winners will be sent their awards following the ceremony. Now, on to the celebrations. Our first set of awards are from the Brand Marketing, New Brand, Food category. And the nominees are the Award of Distinction goes to Horizon Organic, submitted by Danone North America. Danone Go, submitted by Pigeon. Egg Life, submitted by Kaleidoscope. Sunset Cukes and Dip, submitted by Mastronardi Produce. Our first Best in-Class winner in this category is Côte d'Or by Marx. The judges commented that this iconic brand is supported through consistent design and logo use. It creates an entry space for kids with a fun theme, design, and story, from the packaging to the chocolate shape. The graphics are well balanced and stand out on the different backgrounds, and the quirkiness of hungry little animals adds to the fun experience.
Hi, I would like to say thank you to PAC for recognising our work and creativity with this fabulous award.
Thanks also to our client, Dmitry Klotkov, for entrusting us with this opportunity and for pushing for the development of the first Côte d'Or sub-brand and packaging for children.
Massive thanks, Kish and Creative, the exceptional Kev Thomas and Fiona Brown for their leadership, their creativity that gave us our winning designs.
And big thanks, Barbara Balzoni in Client Services, for her energy and enthusiasm to deliver the final product through the rounds of development that great creative requires.
And it's a Best in Class award for Abundance, submitted by Brand Opus Australia. The judges told us that they loved the differentiation of bold colors on the shelf, and that this design hits the millennial market squarely. It's disruptive in the frozen food aisle. The PAC and logo all work together well, and the graphics speak to the target market.
Hi, I'm Nikki, Managing Director of Brand Opus Australia.
And I'm Adam, Creative Director of Brand Opus Australia.
We are thrilled to accept this award on behalf of the many talented and creative people who are involved in bringing this brand to market.
Abundance was born as a celebration of embracing a life of plenty to promote a colourful and bountiful living. This brand represents a fulfilling and gratifying state of being in which food and life's other necessities, physical, mental, and social, are available in abundance.
Along with the client marketing team, we'd like to thank the following people for their great work to bring the brand to life. Beyond the Narrative Research Agency, photographer Louis Petruccelli and food stylist Kirsty Sands, pre-press by IMS Global, and printing by Graphic Packaging International Australia.
Congratulations to Mastronardi Produce, Best in Class for Berry World Blueberry Snack Pack. The judges said that the packaging design was well thought out and stands out in this segment. The concept of convenience and easy to store, keep fresh, and use is well executed. It can translate to kids, moms, and big kids looking for convenient, on-the-go, healthy snacking. The resealable tab is great, as well as the way they incorporated the transparent film with the branding and color elements.
Hello, I'm Justin Crane, Creative Manager at Mastronardi Produce, and I'm incredibly honored to accept this award on behalf of our team. At Mastronardi Produce, we're passionate about innovation and inspiring people to eat healthy by offering the most flavorful fresh produce out there. With that in mind, we developed the Berry World Blueberry Snack Pack, a convenient and fun single-serve container that's bursting with berry goodness. Let's check it out. Featuring a unique berry-shaped clam. Palm-sized and grabbable for on-the-go snacking. Resealable film makes rinsing easy. Design inspired to get parents and children excited about healthy snacking. On behalf of Mastronardi Produce, we appreciate the award. Thank you, PAC Global.
Congratulations goes to Bridgemark, Best in Class for Olivieri Italia. Our international judges panel gave us their feedback. This new package is beautiful and conveys traditional with the new. The design feels fresh and sophisticated and has a great visual impact with colorful flavor images. They did a great job of balancing key elements to support an elevated, authentic Italian experience. The treatment of the emotive imagery is well balanced with the window feature and the color banding and seal of trust. Our next set of winners are from the Brand Marketing New Brand Beverage category. And the nominees are and the awards of distinction go to Distillerie Troilac Limoncello, submitted by Pigeon. Silk Barista, also submitted by Pigeon. Congratulations to Pigeon for a best-in-class win in this category for Distillerie Troilac RDT Gin Pink Lemonade. The judges loved the stripped-down simplicity of the PAC architecture and messaging. The creative expression of flavor and taste is a refreshing and bright design with a definite 80s throwback. The color scheme makes it stand out on the shelf, and the slim design would be attractive to millennials.
It's always a pleasure to collaborate with Nicolas, Mathieu, and Dominique, founders of Distillerie Troilac. We had to launch their first ready-to-drink gin and pink lemonade beverage in a super competitive category. So we move away from traditional cocktail imagery to design a fun, cool, and attractive can that evokes poolside parties of the 80s. Ernesto the Flamingo has become our product icon. The result? A true impactful packaging and #1 seller in the category at SAQ in just a few weeks.
Our next set of winners are from the Brand Marketing New Brand Non-Food category. And the nominees are the awards of distinction go to Personnel Eco Organic, submitted by Cabana Segen. Ceremony Mushrooms, submitted by TI Group. Combo Jizik, submitted by Fish Consumer Engagement Agency. Congratulations to Colgate Palmolive for Best in Class for their entry, Co. by Colgate. The judges felt that although the holographic material is common in oral health, the usage in this package is unique, attracting a younger audience. The packaging is hip, cool, modern, and refreshing inside the oral care category.
Hello, PAC Awards. This is Kayla Risch with Colgate Palmolive. I am Co. by Colgate Senior Innovation Design Manager, and I did lead the design vision and journey for the Co. by Colgate packaging. We are so humbled and excited to be receiving this awesome packaging design award. It's so it's just been really humbling to see fellow creatives in the industry, beauty experts, people from all over just loving Co. by Colgate. And our team is so excited that our love and creation and hard work and dedication to creating this unique brand experience has created such love. I want to give my Co. by Colgate team an amazing shout out. None of this would be possible without any of you. Jared Richardson, head of design at Colgate, Christina Criscos, design director, Josh Hellman, digital marketing, Liz Hispanic, Amy Chun, Diana Henawa, Denise Saldana, Kimberly Partham, Charlotte Rouge, Julia Dungle, United Design, and Kaleidoscope. Thank you all. Ciao.
Congratulations to Davis, a Best in Class award for their submission, Earthright. Judges said they appreciated the use of recycled brown glass, matched with recyclable craft box and seated card. The herbal images stay true to the McCormick brand, and the QR code in the box allows for the brand to continue conversation with the consumer. And now for our first summit speaker in Thailand.
There was a single moment in June 1999 that completely changed my view of the world. I was living and working in the UK, and I'd become involved with a small children's charity, and they offered to send me out to Asia to see where the money was being spent and the good work that was being done. It was my first trip to an emerging market, and I would have been completely lost on my own. And luckily the charity knew this. They provided me with a guide. He was a young guy, smart, funny, about my age. Our days were normally full of visits to orphanages and schools to see what was happening and meeting the kids and volunteers. And on this day, we were changing locations at around lunchtime. Without thinking, I took us into McDonald's. We went in, I went to the counter, ordered our food, and then sat down. And that's when I realized my companion was doing something strange. He took one small bite of his burger, ate a couple of fries and a sip of his Coke, and then carefully wrapped everything up again and put it in his bag. He asked, did I mind if he took it back to his house to share with his brothers and sisters so they could experience what McDonald's tasted like? I didn't know what to say. I was stunned. For me, McDonald's had been the definition of accessibility. Anybody could go there, and I assumed it was the same for everybody else in the world, but I was wrong. For my companion, going into McDonald's meant overcoming a number of barriers that to me were invisible, poverty and social status. But for other people, those barriers are the ramp. It's the cost. It's the ability to even read the menu. 96% of brands say that they intend to be more inclusive and empathetic, but only 5% have done anything about it. It's a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity to engage these marginalized consumers. If you're developing a new product, would you create packaging that was easy to read and easy to understand, or impossible for billions of people? More altruistically, if you want to engage marginalized groups of people, do you go after the small, loud groups, or the bigger groups of billions of people currently suffering in silence? My name's Stephen McGuinness. I'm a design industry veteran, and over the last 20 years, I've developed and launched multiple brands for the big players around the world. But now my passion is in radical inclusivity, of destroying those barriers between your brand and those billions of people that are currently underserved by it, and unlocking trillions of dollars of commercial opportunity. This is the chance to be on the right side of history. And it's not just a nice thing to do, it's the commercially smart thing to do. Whether it's emerging markets like here in Thailand, where I'm based, the fast-moving markets of Northern Asia, or the developed markets of the West, billions of people engage with your brands and products every single day. Now, some of them might visit your website. Some of them might see an advert or look at your social media. Some of them might even hear that smart, flattering thing that a social influencer was paid to say about you. But most won't. No, most consumers will interact with your packaging, whether they're future or existing. Your packaging works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's the single most powerful touch point you have. But in terms of inclusivity, most brands, you're just dropping the ball. Now, I know times are tough and many of the right things to do have been shelved, but radical inclusivity isn't a nice to do. It's the commercially smart thing to do when you think of the trillions of dollars left on the table. You're missing out on opportunity of an untapped global market. Design helps us produce materials that are accessible to as many people with a wider range of abilities as possible. But radical inclusive design ensures that that activity not only promotes inclusivity, but to as wide a number of people as possible, and in the most effective way possible to deliver an ROI in commercial terms for the brand. Let's give some examples of that scale. In the US alone, 12 million have hearing problems, 25 million live in poverty, and 42 million are visually challenged, with 46 million people being functionally illiterate, and English not being the first language for 72 million. And then when we think globally, the numbers become staggering. 500 million have hearing problems, 3 billion live in poverty, and 1 billion are visually challenged. 1.5 billion are functionally illiterate, and English isn't the first language for 7 billion. Now, most brands are marginalizing those consumers because we aren't those consumers. We see things from our own perspective. We imagine the world sees the things from our perspective too, and that's the problem. Frank Lloyd Wright once said, if I was 2 inches taller, my buildings would look different. That's because architecture, like design or any communication, is autobiographical. We project our abilities and perceptions onto everybody else. But when we realize that's not accurate in terms of individuals, and it's certainly not accurate in terms of the market at large. I'm able-bodied, got good eyesight, some money in my pocket, and are able to read and write with a degree of confidence. But most people in the world don't have all of those attributes. And by expecting the world to be like us, we're marginalizing and missing out on the billions of people that aren't. So what we see as being the norm, even just in numbers, is actually the minority. So we need to think about those masses of people that are living marginalized existences and look at how to engage them. So let's take 3 examples today. People living in poverty, people with literacy challenges, and first, the visually impaired. More than 1 billion people in the world already suffer from some kind of visual impairment. And as the global population ages, that's going to go up and up. In fact, everyone over 40 suffers from some degree of visual deterioration, and people over 60 are twice as likely to suffer from a serious visual impairment. Let's talk about some of the most common complaints. People with cataracts or glaucoma experience darkening of what they see, or level of focus that makes it hard to understand small typefaces and color contrasts. And anything that isn't front and center in the packaging or the POS will be lost in the blurs around the edges. People who are colorblind make up 10% of the population, and that may seem little more than an inconvenience, but when so many brands use color as a means to navigate across a portfolio, it makes finding the right product very difficult for a lot of people. we've identified the 25 most common blockers that get between shoppers and your brands visually and the solutions to those. A design team that understands those principles can implement this optimization simply and effectively into a brand refresh or a brand design in a way that doesn't impact category cues or even the overall aesthetic. And ideally, it gets built into the foundation of a new brand identity. Visual inclusive optimized design is probably the single most effective thing you could do to your brands right now. Around the world, 3 billion people live in what the World Health Organization describes as poverty, and that's across developed and emerging nations. Now, unsurprisingly, if you're worried about where your next meal's coming from or where your family's going to sleep tonight, you're going to make different decisions than people who have more economic security. So that could be about small things like a toothpaste choice or bigger things like opening a bank account. But what we do know that when faced with longer term challenges and opportunities, people tend to focus towards the things that give them immediate benefits. So simply put, someone who's worried about sustenance doesn't worry about sustainability. And when I was working in Indonesia, I discovered that toothpastes that talked about immediate benefits, such as white teeth and fresh breath, always outsold the ones talking about the longer term benefits, such as cavities or teeth retention. But in other locations and other categories, it's the reverse. If you're relying on one set of clothes for the needs of several generations of children, it may be that the washing powder that talks about long-term protection is more appealing than the one that gets it whiter right now. And if your family relies on one scooter for its life and livelihood, then keeping that scooter functioning long-term with performance versus protection is going to be much more appealing to you. And of course, on the bigger picture, how you frame things is very important. For you, what might be a budget or a small purchase, for other people could be a special treat they've been looking forward to. So I'm not suggesting making cheaper products or even dropping the prices of existing products, but it's about thinking about how you communicate and how you prioritize the messages for the products you already have, and see this huge, relatively untapped demographic as an opportunity to be embraced. When you can't read the words, you're relying on what something looks like to make your decisions. I remember being a teenager traveling across Europe by train. I was down to my last few dollars in France, and I was famished. I stopped at a small store and bought 2 big baguettes and a large jar of chicken pate. I took my feast to the park to enjoy what to me was going to be a banquet. I was so disappointed. Turned out my jar of chicken pate was actually super strong French mustard. The picture on the jar of a baguette with chicken in was a serving suggestion, not a product descriptor. I was so disappointed I could have cried. In fact, I think I might have cried. But we do it all the time. We regularly put images on packs and POS of things that aren't in the pack. We put it there for aesthetics, we put it there for appetite appeal, or simply sometimes to fill the space. But it's confusing and disappointing to people who buy the product that they didn't want. Or it loses customers who want your product but don't know what it is because the image doesn't match. It's simple. Why don't we just have on the pack pictures of what's inside the pack? Icons can give your brand a feeling of expertise and leadership, science or technology. They can make communicating key messages or instructions easier. But to be truly effective, they must be freestanding. If an icon has to have a piece of text next to it to explain what it means, the icon's redundant. Just have the text. An icon needs to be understandable without the need for additional written information. Now that's harder to do, but otherwise, why bother? Finally, let's talk copywriting. As we talked about, we design in an autobiographical way, but we speak and write from our own perspective too. We use terms, phrases and words we assume everyone understands. We use jargon without realizing it, we use acronyms without explaining what the letters stand for, and we use technical info that makes no sense to the average person. We forget that the common colloquialisms and metaphors that we use in everyday communication, even within a common language, are culturally specific and not understood by many people. Do you really go after low-hanging fruit, let the cat out of the bag, or lead a horse to water? No, they're colloquial metaphors, and most of the world have got no understanding what they mean. Vitally important is reading level comprehension. Aside from the billions of people who can't read copy at all, how many are struggling with your choice of words? The average American adult has the reading age of a 7th grader. That's 11 to 12 years old. Now that's the average. So half the population read at a lower level than that. In Britain, it's between 9 and 10 years old. Disappointing when you consider we invented the language. But the good news is writing simple, easy to understand copy is actually more effective, regardless of the ability of the reader. Now that's counterintuitive. We tend to think sophisticated writing is superior, but it turns out it's not the case. First of all, who doesn't want easy to understand information? I know I do. Second, analysis of the writing of some of the world's greatest authors with the Fleisch-Kincaid test showed that those who wrote more simply and clearly were more successful critically and commercially. Ernest Hemingway dealt with rich, multi-layered concepts and created complex characters, but wrote at the level of a 4th grader. That's a 9-year-old. Stephen King and Dan Brown write at the level of an 11-year-old. Remember what Einstein said, any fool can make things more complicated. So what do you do now? First of all, don't be satisfied with well-meaning rhetoric anymore. Those worn-out platitudes we're using over and over again, but we're not turning into action. We all agree that these things should happen. Now it's time to do them. We talk about inclusion, we talk about removing barriers, and we talk about universal design, and no one disagrees with that. But those words don't become action enough. Those warm and fuzzy corporate statements, they're about as much use as social media likes. You can do this. Embrace radical inclusivity and make a positive change commercially and do the right thing. Making your brand or your business even fractionally more inclusive is good for you, your brand, your business, and billions of people. There's been some huge progress in the last 12 months about visual inclusivity in packaging. So let's focus on that today. Today we're going to hear from experts around the world with their insight and experience of what they're doing that you can learn from and implement straight away. So as you listen, remember, this is the opportunity to get on the right side of history. So don't just nod along and make supportive noises. Pay attention, write notes, work out what you can actually do. Get in touch with me or the other speakers. We'd love to hear from you and how we can work together. We can deliver truly inclusive packaging to millions or perhaps billions of people. So, let's get started.
Hi everyone and welcome to Air Global right here in Leeds at our global head office. Come in.
Hi, I'm Gavin Greenhalgh.
And I'm Sam Latif. And together we're the co-chairs of the PAC IOU. So Gavin, you want to remind us what IOU stands for?
Yeah, sure. It stands for Inclusive Opportunities and Universal Design.
And the purpose of the PAC IOU is to champion product design by everyone, for everyone.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you join us and our fellow industry leaders to inspire the packaging community.
Now let's welcome Pete Matthews of Kellogg's Europe and Mark Powell of the RNIB.
90% of blind and partially sighted people either find it difficult or impossible to read packaging information. I'm Mark Powell and I'm the Strategic Accessibility Lead at the Royal National Institute of Blind People. RNIB, which is the UK's leading sight loss charity. There's 2 million people in the UK living with sight loss. I'm one of those people. I've been registered blind since I was a young lad. And accessing packaging information I know only too well can be really, really tricky at times. Think about it. All of that information on PAC is there for a reason, and that's because it's important, but it's visual. So how do people like me access it? There's information on there such as instruction information, such as nutrition information, that right now people just simply can't access in an equal way. I'm pleased to say that that's changing. Kellogg's have been innovating in this space, and I'm pleased to hand over to Pete Matthews, who's going to talk to you about how Kellogg's have been driving an inclusive design for everyone approach within packaging.
Thanks, Mark. I'm Pete Matthews from Kellogg's, and I'm going to tell you about the work we're doing with NaviLens to make our packaging more accessible for people with sight loss. Last year, I came here and told the story behind our limited edition Cocoa Pops pack, which we created with the RNIB to support World Sight Day. And we were lucky enough to be recognised with a Best in Class award from PAC, which really helped us to raise the profile of this work. So I'll remind you how it all began for us, and then update you on what happened next as we continued our journey with inclusive design. For us, this story started back in 2019 when we did some work with children from St Vincent's, a specialist school for the blind and partially sighted near Liverpool. These children told us how difficult it is for them to access information on all packaging and challenged us to make our packs more accessible. So we made a connection with the RNIB and decided that the best way for us to raise awareness was to produce a special edition pack and use this as a trial to demonstrate what could be achieved. We worked in partnership with RNIB and St Vincent's to develop the most suitable design to address the widest possible spectrum of sight loss conditions. This special pack featured simplified artwork with enlarged text and cleaner branding. We included Braille, which we thought was particularly important, but learned from the RNIB that less than 10% of blind people actually use Braille. People are using technology instead. So then we started looking around at tech solutions and heard about NaviLens, which ended up being the most important innovation on this pack. And this was the first time that NaviLens had ever been used on packaging. So we launched our trial on World Sight Day 2020, and it had an immediate impact in terms of media interest, but more importantly, really positive feedback from the sight loss community. There are some comments here from a survey conducted by the RNIB. 97% said the packaging was more accessible and 100% liked NaviLens. You can see how it made a real difference by enabling people to shop independently, even elite athletes like Laura Facci. The one item of feedback we had consistently was, why can't we have NaviLens on all packaging? And this is where we pick up the story from last year. The thing which really resonated with us internally was how much this aligned with our company purpose, creating a place at the table for everyone. It completely fits with our values here at Kellogg's. This helped us to keep up the momentum. We knew we couldn't leave it as a trial and had to make a lasting impression that could really make a difference. So we went away and looked at the possibilities to take it to the next level. After 6 months of groundwork, we had a plan in place to roll out NaviLens across all of our cereal packaging in Europe, starting in January and covering our entire cereal portfolio by the end of this year. That's more than 20 brands, over 1,000 SKUs in all European markets. The way we're managing this is by adding NaviLens alongside other planned artwork updates throughout the year. So how does it work? This visual shows how we're managing the flow of data from the artwork to the NaviLens app. We start with ingredients and nutritional copy in our PLM system, that's product labelling management. The copy here is linked to each individual GTIN, which is basically the barcode. This is connected to another system called PIM, where we have the addition of the marketing content. We then have a direct API interface with the Navilens database, which stores the product data against the Navilens code. Each Navilens code is unique and linked to a GTIN. At the same time, the Navilens code is added to the artwork alongside the nutritional information and other on-pack copy. This artwork is printed and goes into production. The pack ends up in store and the Navilens code is scanned by the shopper, at which point the app instantly identifies the code and reads aloud all the product information. So the process behind this is all about managing data, and the idea is that once you've set it up, it's completely automated. By July last year, we were ready to tell the world about what we were doing. We made an announcement on July 1st with press releases and a behind-the-scenes video, which I'll show you in a moment. The impact of this announcement was huge, way beyond our expectations. 229 million media impressions. That's our second biggest PR story ever for Kellogg's UK. And it was received with 100% positive sentiment. The interest this has generated has been phenomenal, from the media but also from other brand owners and retailers. At Kellogg's, we're really proud to be the first company in the world to add Navilens to our packaging, and want to share our learnings so that other companies can make their packaging more inclusive. We also have plans to include Navilens on our point-of-sale materials, starting with Special K from March this year. Our colleagues in Kellogg's North America are also implementing Navilens on a range of cereal packaging this summer. So it's only a matter of time before it goes global for us. And all of this has made us consider further aspects of accessibility and inclusive design. So we have a number of other projects in the pipeline. This experiment has had a massive impact at Kellogg's. We had no idea when we started how influential it would become. On a personal level, it's given my role new meaning, fully aligned to our company purpose. I've been working in design for over 25 years, and I'll never look at our branding and artwork in the same way again. Most of all, I'm excited to see where it takes us next. And before I hand back to Mark, I'll leave you with this video about our journey so far.
Kellogg adds new technology to cereal boxes across Europe to help blind and partially sighted shoppers. At Kellogg, our purpose is to create a seat at the table for everyone.
As a colleague with sight loss, I feel like my voice is heard. Like I am a part of the decision-making process in something that is going to benefit people like myself.
RNIB is the Royal National Institute of Blind People, and we represent the 2 million people in the UK living with sight loss and are one of the largest sight loss organisations in Europe. We're committed to removing barriers to independence and working with organisations taking a design for everyone approach. This is why the work with Kellogg's is truly groundbreaking.
As our company purpose is for everyone to have a seat at the table, and we focus on equity, diversity and inclusion, we believe that everyone should be able to shop more independently and access important information about the foods that we sell. That's why, starting next year, we are adding a new technology to all our cereal boxes across Europe and make our packaging accessible to people with sight loss.
Research from the RNIB has shown that 90% of visually impaired shoppers feel the information on food packaging is difficult or impossible to read. So, to ensure our food is accessible to everyone, from 2022, we will be adding Navilens technology to all our cereal packaging across the whole of Europe. Navilens works by allowing smartphones to pick up an on-pack code from up to 3 meters distance when a blind or partially sighted shopper points their device in the direction of the cereal box. This then alerts the phone, and the shopper can choose to have the ingredients, allergen, and recycling information read aloud to them, as well as reading it on their device using the device's accessibility tools in whatever language the phone is set to.
Back in 2019, we were lucky enough to meet with children from St Vincent's, a school for children with sensory impairments near Liverpool in England. And the children told us in no uncertain terms that we needed to make our packaging more accessible. And they even suggested we could use technology to help with this. So it was the enthusiasm and insight from the kids which really drove us forward to look for a solution and make this project a reality.
Whether you're online shopping or simply using the product at home, you can still use NaviLens in the exact same way to get all of that information to your smartphone, allowing us to be independent and make healthier choices.
We are so proud to be the first company in the world to do that, and we will share our experience with other brands who want to learn more.
Kellogg's great work has the potential to be a catalyst for change across the industry. If they can do it, why can't others? The technology exists, and this gives me the independence to access the product information. Kellogg's are truly leading the way. So Kellogg's are leading the way within this space, as you've just heard from Pete, and we've been collaborating with major brands across the world to drive this forward and really amplify the message, to continue the work and create this design for everyone approach that just happens to work for blind and partially sighted people. So how does this all work? So firstly, you're going to need one of the two NaviLens apps. There's NaviLens and there's NaviLens Go. The difference between both is that NaviLens takes some of the visual distractions away, where NaviLens Go shows a bit more visual and graphic information. So once you've downloaded one of the two NaviLens apps, you're ready to go. On your smartphone, you open the app and you point your phone in the general direction of the box. Now behind me here, there's a box of Special K. I'm going to point my phone in the general direction of the box. The app lets me know that the box is there.
Kellogg's Special K Original Cereal, 500 grams.
And I'm told that the box of Kellogg's Special K is behind me. Now if I want some more information, I can select that.
Stopping scan.
And I can go through using my traditional accessibility features on my phone, which I've got an iPhone here, to get all that information on PAC.
Feed your strength with Kellogg's Special K, a nutritious and delicious start to your day. Deliciously crunchy multigrain flakes of rice, whole wheat and barley.
I also use Zoom on my phone, so I can also zoom in on this content.
Start your day the Special K way with Kellogg's Special K Original Cereal.
And use it in that way as well. So this particular box behind me here, the code on here can be detected from around 3 meters away. So if you imagine walking down an aisle in a supermarket, I can detect this box from 3 meters away, and when I get closer to the PAC, I can then access the information on there through my smartphone. At RNIB, we've been driving forward within this space and really amplifying the message with global brands and through our brand campaign, our Design for Everyone campaign, which focused on the real life experiences of what it might be like in a retail store if you're blind and partially sighted. This store in Hammersmith was a real life simulation by walking into a store with no visuals at all. Imagine what that would be like. It was frustrating, people coming in from the outside to this real store when they felt really confused. We also got great buy-in from global brands who attended the store and found the experience incredibly enlightening. Let's have a look at the video now from the What's in Store in Hammersmith.
A shop called What's in Store is open for business. Security cameras show that nearly all the products on the shelves are blank and have no information on them. A woman walks into the store. She looks at the blank products and is very confused.
Is there anything you're particularly looking for?
An explanation? One by one, more customers enter, each as confused as the last.
What's all this unmarked stuff?
It's just regular food.
What's the deal?
How can you tell what's what?
They don't even have signs. A woman points to some tins.
Is this a different item to that?
Not necessarily, no.
This is crazy. Are you sure this isn't some kind of massive joke?
So you don't know what it is?
No, I don't.
No, you know, obviously, but how do we know?
No, I don't know either.
A title reads, "Everyone should have the right to know what they're buying." Yet 9 in 10 blind and partially sighted people find it difficult to access crucial information on packaging.
There's no nutrition value, there's no fat, there's no salt, there's no sugar written on the labels. What do you know what you're getting? What if you have a nut allergy?
Good question.
My mind is working overtime right now trying to figure this stuff out.
So just imagine if this was your regular shopping experience, like if you went to... This is the regular shopping experience for somebody who's partially sighted or blind.
Right, I see.
Quotes from people with sight loss read, "I have to depend on others to read it for me. It's denying us our independence. I want manufacturers to take notice." A title reads, "We're working with brands and supermarkets to make their packaging more accessible. But there's still more work to do. Find out how you can help at rnib.org.uk. RNIB. See differently."
So there's some food for thought there. The key takeaway is think about your consumers, think about the needs, and think about how many people that can benefit from these innovations. Kellogg's have done it, so why can't you?
Thank you, Pete Matthews and Mark Powell, for that incredible session. Now we're going to look at the importance and need for accessible design through the integration of inclusive technology and graphic solutions. There is some incredible packaging on the shelves of pretty much every store around the world, every corner of the globe, all of which has been carefully crafted to engage with the consumer or reach out and attract the shopper. Now, these didn't happen overnight. Strategy, insight, talent, teamwork all came together to create these solutions that we, as shoppers, shop for each and every day. Hi, I'm Gavin Greenhalgh, Group Creative Director for Air Global and PAC IOU Co-Chair. In this session, we are going to be discussing how we can integrate inclusive technology and graphic solutions for accessible design. Like many designers, we work in an environment which is a perfect environment. It's not actually the environment which people view packaging in. Now, there are certain things that we can do to alter that to make it feel more realistic, lighting, etc. for one. The way that we view the pack when we kind of look at it on the wall to see whether or not it's actually working or whether things stand out. We work though on high definition screens, so everything's bound to look fantastic, and when we can't see something, we zoom in 400% just to make sure everything feels super clear. That tiny little bit of copy that we thought was illegible at 400%, of course it's legible. Colour, well, again, we look at different types of things such as gradients, we put all sorts of overlays on top, all of which look fantastic when we're on the screen, but actually what happens when those packs hit the shelf? But more importantly, what happens when a consumer or a shopper who is suffering with some level of sight impairment has to make the choice of what pack they want or what brand they want to purchase? We design products for ourselves and from our perspectives, except that we are not most people. We need to step outside of ourselves and design objectively and for a much wider audience. So let's ask a question. Is it better to deliver a slightly more accessible pack for billions of people than a pack which is a lot more accessible for a very small number of people? So what do we mean by this? Well, inclusive activity has tended to be short-term and focused on a single group, but we need to integrate inclusive basics that are always in place, that make it a better place, a better experience for everyone ongoing. We need to make inclusive basics part of the design process rather than an afterthought. Now, inclusive design is an also, it's not an or. It isn't aesthetically good design or inclusive design. It is aesthetically good design that is also inclusive. It has to optimise the brand and it can optimise the pack as well. Now, if anyone joined the session with Steve McGuinness, it was jam-packed full of insight and statistics, one of which I want to kind of bring to light again, and it was really from somebody that was actually in the blind community. They said, I will choose a new, better product or brand option if I'm aware of it. But the benefits need to be communicated in a way that I can engage with Otherwise, I will just keep buying what I usually do. Basically, what this person was saying is, if we can just make adjustments to that pack, then there is more chance of actually making that person another new customer or another new consumer of the brand. So let's acknowledge what some of these accessible indicators could be, and we need to ask ourselves, if we overlay an accessible lens, how would we approach these differently? Now, there are 8 subjects that I want to kind of cover today, and they'll be briefly covered. Tools, colour, contrast, image, text, copy, the physical, and iconography. Now, when it comes to tools, we're talking about technology tools. We're talking about digital application, such as the NaviLens code. But what we want to do is not make the NaviLens code an add-on. We want to make it feel like it's been part of the brand or part of the PAC consideration. So first of all, we need to ask ourselves, well, is there a suitable tool or technology available that will assist? And if so, can we add it to the PAC? And how should we add it to the PAC? Can it be incorporated? Does it need to feel like it kind of is a little bit more intrusive? Does it play an awareness role? Or does it play a role which is more sympathetic to the brand? Can the tool or the technology become part of the design? Can we look at the toolkits that we've created or our brand guidelines and see how that can be adapted in such a way that it becomes part of that communication and part of that brand message? Now, a key part of accessible design is really kind of thinking about colour. And when I say accessible design, I'm really focusing on the sight impairment implications. Now, colour, as we know, is one of the primary pieces of navigation. It comes first and foremost when people, as in consumers, are kind of engaging with a PAC or how shoppers register with a brand or with different SKUs. Now, colour can be used in various different ways. It can be used to help identify the different brand. It can be used to denote flavour. It can be used to differentiate between SKUs in a range. We really do rely upon colour within packaging to do so much. Now, that's all great, and I use the word we, but if we go back to the original slide, which is around, we are not most people, well, actually, what if your consumers are actually colourblind? What if the sight impairment they have is colour blindness? There are 350 million people in the world suffering from colour blindness. 1 in 12 men and 1 in every 200 women. So approximately 12 children with colour deficiency are born every single minute. Now, we use colour as our primary piece of navigation, but now overlaying that lens, what do we think about colour? How would you approach colour now in your huge portfolio of multiple different SKUs when you're trying to show the difference between one flavour and another, and you may or may not be able to show some sort of ingredient? Now, we also need to think about it from an aesthetic, not just an aesthetic way, but as a compelling tool that can drive greater purchase. As a designer, when you pin your work to the wall and you kind of sort of stand back and we all say, wow, that's got great standout, we should really ask ourselves, once we start to implement these different kind of accessible lenses, is, does it really stand out? Does it really stand out to somebody who actually can't see colour? Now, contrast is just important as colour. It can be the difference between whether somebody with sight impairment makes a purchase of your product or doesn't. It can be the difference between whether a piece of packaging is successful or it's not. And there are certain points within contrast that we do need to look at. Are they of different lightness, for one? Can we avoid colours of similar lightness that sit next to each other? Contrast in the realms of different hues. We need to make sure again that we don't choose colours of a similar hue. Yellows on oranges, whites on yellows. Pair lighter colours with darker colours in order to make them distinct. Colours themselves, are they contrasting? Can we check the brand ID for colours from a complementary side of the colour wheel? Reds and blues, for example, don't contrast that well. They create halos around text, which ultimately can then create obscurity or a barrier for somebody with sight impairment. Let's talk about images for a minute. Do images have copy in them or on them? We should really look to kind of keep copy separate from the images, but next to or nearby, so they at least relate. Do the images cross boundaries or edges? We should really be looking to try and keep images self-contained and in clear space. And do the images perform a useful function? Images should ideally fulfill a need rather than be simply decorative. Now, of course there's a need for decorative, and of course there's a need for aesthetic, but when we're talking about a particular type of consumer, we need to think of those barriers that that particular consumer is going to come across. So keeping things as clear as possible is key. You know, are there colour principles that we can follow in order to keep the image clearly legible? And does the product image actually represent the actual product that's in the pack? And a great example of this would be a plain product like an original flavour versus a raspberry flavour. Now actually on the plain flavour products, we see it day in day out on the shelves. We add to that product to make it feel slightly more appetising. But actually by doing so, somebody with sight impairment such as retinitis pigmentosa that has to look through a much smaller aperture, the only thing that that person may potentially see is the raspberry, for example, that has been placed on the original pack. So for that person, they will make a purchase based on thinking it's a flavoured product, and actually when they get home they realise it's an original flavour. Now that's actually true. We have testimonials from people in the blind community that frequently go home from the shops with the wrong product because the pack or image that's on that pack is misleading. This brings us on to words, and words have immense power. So let's understand the accessibility of the use of type and of copy, and I'm separating the two at the moment because I want type to really be focused around aesthetic, and I want copy to really be focused around the terminology and the wording that we're using. Now from a semiotic perspective, type is relatively kind of low down in the order of priority. You know, image and colour are much further up, but type and copy play a vital role. Do the type and background colours contrast? We've already talked about colour earlier, but when you add in another barrier around typography and wording that you're trying to communicate, then ultimately it can be even more complicated when it's against a colour that doesn't contrast. You know, we love putting tints of text against another colour because we think it looks absolutely fantastic, and it does, there's no doubt about it. There are times when it looks absolutely fantastic. However, the person with sight impairment struggles to engage with text that they just can't read. We've talked about lightness and we've talked about hue. You know, can we adjust this so that the text really does stand out? And can the font be bigger? Can a larger font be accommodated within the space? Can it be right aligned? Can it be left aligned? Again, is this specified within the brand guidelines? Is it even possible? But we have to think about how the consumer is processing this information on the pack. Just by making small adjustments to alignment can actually be the difference between, again, a really successful engagement or one that's a little bit more difficult. Is the type on top of an image? Can it sit alongside the image, or can it even be removed? And does the type change size? You know, can it become a single size? We have kind of fluctuations in type sizes. From a design perspective, yeah, of course it looks absolutely fantastic. But if we know that our consumer potentially has a sight impairment, or it's a particular type of wording or imagery, can we adjust it just slightly to make it much more legible and much more easy to read? And drop shadows and reflections. Again, we place copy over images. We place text over images and we suddenly realise it doesn't stand out as much, so we put drop shadows in to try and make it elevated from the image that it's placed upon. However, all this does is create another barrier for somebody with sight impairment, and reflections does exactly the same thing. You know, it would just be easier and still be aesthetically strong to remove it altogether. Does type have a key line? Again, it can create blurs, it can create haloing. Why can't we just create clean contrasting lines, or can the lines be removed altogether? And is there enough space between lines? Let's help the consumer actually able to process the copy and the text that's on that pack in the way that we want that person to kind of digest that information. And just by, again, a simple adjustment to letter spacing and line spacing can really do that. Decorative, cursive, italic, condensed fonts, again, we think about them as design aesthetic, and it's true, you know, they all play a role, and the difference between something that looks absolutely fantastic and something that is effective when it comes to this consumer. So let's have a look within our brand guidelines, let's have a look within our brand portfolios to see how we can kind of flex these or simplify these in order to make them much more engaging for that consumer. When it comes to copy, the average reading age in the UK, for example, is of 9 years. There are 773 million people in the world that are illiterate, and approximately 15% of the global population suffer with dyslexia. Copy, well, is the copy hyperbolic or metaphoric? Can we try rewriting the copy in as straightforward a way or as simple a way as possible? Are the sentences long and are they complicated? You know, can we create 1 point per sentence or 1 action per sentence to make it much easier to process and much easier to digest? And does the sentence use location specific or colloquial terms? So can we try and stick to classic grammar without the need for localization? You know, incredibly important when you're working on global pieces of packaging that are spanning multiple regions. And actually, does the copy use jargon or acronyms or use assumed knowledge? Make everything on the pack self-evident and self-explanatory. Can you even read it? You know, if it needs to be read, then assess if it is even legible. And when it comes to the physical, tactility and touch play an important role for somebody with sight impairment. Are key messages or information in icon or text embossed? Can they be embossed? You know, embossing icons and text can really just aid navigation. The amount of times that we have heard from people in the blind community that just by running their fingers across packs that have raised elements, and I'm not talking about haptics and braille, I'm talking about just images and iconography and branding, can really help aid then that purchasing decision of that consumer. Matte and gloss finishes, really think about the substrate. Matte is a really good surface and has better readability versus gloss. Gloss reflects light, which ultimately has an effect on the shopper. And do multiple variants share the same pack format? Can we put different variants in different formats or different pack shapes to significantly help navigation? And when it comes to icons, is the icon visible and is it legible? Use at least the same line thickness as the type point size. Is it clear? You know, use the same colour principles for type. And is it self-explanatory? If an icon needs to be explained through text, actually then, does this mean that the icon itself is redundant because you're having to kind of say the same thing again in written form? So really be clear when it comes to creating iconography that it really is delivering a clear message. So, this is not about attaining aesthetic excellence or delivering inclusive design. It is, as I mentioned before, it is an also. Making a pack or brand inclusive doesn't take anything away from it. It doesn't dilute. In fact, it adds and it makes it stronger. All the points that the speakers have made over the sessions that you may have heard have been absolutely fantastic. Really great points. And all would have a positive inclusive impact if they were executed on the packs. But what I'm trying to get across is the fact that not everything has to be executed at the same time. In fact, trying to execute everything would prevent you actually executing anything. And would it work even if you could? So really, it's really about understanding what message you're trying to convey and who the consumer is. And just making slight adjustments to your pack design can actually connect with a shopper that you didn't have in the first place. It isn't just about smart integration, it's also about picking which of the inclusive tech, tools and learnings are going to be best for the pack. for the biggest group and deliver the most benefit. Just a few closing points to end the session. We can't let the great kill the good. We need to do the right thing, but more importantly, we need to do it the right way. You need to know your consumer, really understand the barriers that they're facing in order to be able to engage with your brand. Understand how best to make the pack engagement better. We need to pick the right tools, the right techniques, and the right methods. And we need to do it in a way that adds to your brand. We need to start to make change now by making accessibility part of the design process. And we should always put ourselves in the position of the consumer, because if not already, at some point, you may become that consumer. Thank you.
And now for our award winners from the Brand Marketing Revitalized Brand Food category. And the nominees are and the awards of distinction go to Del Monte Frozen Fruit Bars, entered by Invoke Brands. Sunset Wild Wonders, entered by Mastronardi Produce. Wallaby, submitted by Danone North America. Ethel's Baking Company by Little Big Brands. Three Farmers, entered by Bridgemark. Dainty, the Rice Company, Premium Collection, submitted by Pigeon. And to Compliments Marinades, submitted by Fish Consumer Engagement Agency. Congratulations! The Best in Class award goes to McDonald's, submitted by Pearl Fisher. Our judges weighed in. There's beauty in the simplicity of McDonald's iconic menu items. Each wrapper, clamshell, and pack is designed to be identifiable where order assembly occurs. The easy-to-understand graphics drive recognition, regardless of where in the world orders are being assembled, shared, and enjoyed. No matter the region or the language, the aim was for the packaging design to communicate joyful moments while being immediate and universal.
Hello, PAC Awards. I'm Hamish Campbell, the VP and Executive Creative Director of Pearl Fisher New York. I just want to say a huge thank you for the recognition for the amazing work my team has done on the redesign of the packaging for McDonald's. It was an incredible project with even better clients, and we're thrilled to be awarded with this. So thank you again. Bye.
Congratulations to Danone North America for their best-in-class win for Danone Oikos. The judges felt that this entry was a wonderful brand refresh, contemporary, powerful, and engaging. The aim was to highlight the can't-look-away, larger-than-life food photography, and the black, bold branding also helped signpost their section on the shelf.
We're so humbled by the honor of this recognition and thank the PAC team, particularly Jim Downham, for your hard work in advancing the packaging design and branding industry.
Every element of the Oikos design system was co-created with designers from Danone and Beardwood & Co. working together hand in hand.
For us, this is just the beginning, and we look forward to sharing more breakthrough designs soon. Thank you so much.
And the final best-in-class winner in this category goes to Graphic Packaging International for Nestle Tapered Hinged Lid Confectionery Cartons. The judges told us these new Nestle Kit Kat and Bliss cartons convey the premium nature of the brands, as they feature an elegantly tapered shape. The sophisticated hinged lid with reclose allows for easy sharing of the individually wrapped treats. Designed to capture consumers' attention on the shelf with their unique shape and premium gold foil stamping plus embossing. They also provide a high-quality, beautiful package that one is proud to give as a gift.
Hi, hello. Our team at Graphic Packaging International would like to thank the PAC Global Awards and its judges for choosing our Nestlé tapered hinged lid confectionery cartons in the revitalized brand food category. When Nestlé approached our team looking for visibility to improve size impression on the shelf and support key brand differentiation, our team, led by Paul Wellington, got to work designing and developing a continuous one-piece virgin fiber paperboard structure with innovative friction-closed flip-top lid. Lightweight, strong and constructed from responsible sourced paperboard with our partner Metza Board, the pack also looks great, with fluted foiling and embossing that catches the eye and look fantastic on the shelf, achieving exactly what we set out to do. From ideation to execution and delivery, our team has aimed to excel at every stage of the project, and being recognized as one of the best in business by the PAC Global Awards, it's testament to our hard work. We would like to close by giving our sincere thanks to the PAC Global Awards and its international panel of judges. Thank you.
And now for our award winners in the Brand Marketing Revitalized Brand Beverage category. And the nominees are the awards of distinction go to Eichhoff, entered by Pearl Fisher, and to Dojivi, submitted by Rutri. A Best in Class award goes to Estrella Dam Rounded Corner Beer Packs, submitted by Graphic Packaging International. From the judges, a good structural innovative design for the can segment. Appreciated that the graphic design was not revamped, instead leveraging current brand awareness. A great example of how structural design can influence perception.
From Barcelona, Spain, and in behalf of all graphic packaging team, I would like to thank PAC judges for choosing our Estrella Damm Round Corners pack as the winner of such great award. Let me explain a little bit about this sustainable innovation that is the Round Corners pack, because in that case we managed to have a delicate and simple design that not only to transform the on-shelf appearance as a premium feel of the brand, as well had been designed to hold tight the product to protect it from logistics, and all is using our virgin fiber board that is 100% recyclable, being very sustainable. We want to thank PAC organization and the judges for recognizing our creativity, innovation, and the expertise of our team. Thank you very much.
And congratulations to Pigeon for your Best in Class award for Wise by Nature Smoothie Mix. Our judges said, the graphics here are great. Personifying the flavors is fun, interesting, and eye-catching. The transition from product focus to lifestyle focus provides a flexible canvas to portray the brand, feature, and benefits. The addition of real people on PAC also provides strong shelf presence and better eye tracking and connection to the shopper.
In the last year, we had the chance to work with Pigeon brand to develop our packaging, and we're really happy with the way it came out, and we're also excited that we are in the PAC Global Award. So I just want to take a second to thank Pigeon brand for their work and the jury of the PAC Global Award. So thank you so much.
Wise by Nature, wow, what a fun and exciting project. A smoothie mix like no others, an alternative to fresh and frozen fruits, a true challenge to communicate. The solutions who broke the category codes of smoothie, engaging with a design that tells a story, a modern design for a wise product, and a brand visual expression totally aligned with the truth of the brand. Gain time, save space, reduce waste, while eating healthy.
And now we will present the winners in the Brand Marketing Revitalized Brand Non-Food category. The nominees are and the awards of distinction go to Rock Skincare, entered by Invoke Brands, and to Total Home, submitted by Marks. Congratulations! The Best in Class award goes to Pearl Fisher for their entry, eCloth. Our judges appreciated the renewed brand identity and packaging design. It looks like eCloth encourages people to reassess the chemicals they use when cleaning and embrace the power and simplicity of microfiber. The simplicity of the pack speaks to what the simplicity of cleaning should be.
PAC Awards, hello. David here, partner and creative director of our London Pearl Fisher studio. Very exciting news about our award wins at this year's PAC Awards. Our project teams and our clients will be thrilled. So thank you, and what a great start to 2022.
And now for our next summit speaker in Spain.
A pleasure to be here with you today. So we are going to present in Navilens technology. So thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to present to you the Navilens project. Navilens digital codes paving the way for accessible and inclusive packaging. So according to the World Health Organization, in the world there are at most 300 million people visually impaired. 39 are blind, and at most 250 million have low vision or partly sight. 9 in 10 blind or partly sight people said they have difficulty reading information on food packaging. So how to solve it? But previously, we need to travel to the past, to 2012, when we began this project. The challenge that was inspired Navilens was that we saw that the visually impaired people are not completely independent in unknown spaces. And one of the reasons is because it's not possible to read the signage indication that you have at any place. So our idea was, okay, why don't put something on the signage, use the camera of the mobile phone like an eye in order to read that information? And how? Our first approach was to use QR codes. But I don't know if you know that the QR codes was invented 28 years ago. 28 years ago in the 1994 in Japan. And the problem with the QR code and the data matrix code and similar codes it's not possible to read a code without focus or enframe it. You need to know where the code is in order to be able to scan it. And imagine, a blind person cannot do it. So we spent 5 years of research and development here in Spain between 2012 to 2017 between Navilens and the University of Alicante in order to create a new kind of code, a new kind of QR code that could be read by a blind user. And after these 5 years of research, we achieved a scannable code, artificial marker, that can be scanned at 12 meters far away, something like 40 feet far away, in only 0.03 seconds, and without need to focus or enframe it. The Navilens code was born in 2017, and it's a patented technology. It's unique in the world. So the Navilens code is very characteristic. We use colors instead of the small dots of the black and white. And using colors allow us in order to store more information in less space. This is possible to read from a very long distance. And additionally, we can read the code not only at a very far distance, we can read the code in a very sharp angle and an incredible speed. And that combination is that it became useful for blind users. And of course, we can use the same Navilens code in monocolor, in black and white as well, if we want. So Navilens' first implementation between 2017 and 2019, we start in public transport because transit for blind users is key for the mobility. And here you have a picture of the first implementation in a Barcelona bus stop. in order to allow that the blind users can detect where exactly is the bus stop from a very long distance. In this code has 30 centimeters code, it has 30 centimeters navigance code that can be read at 30 meters far away. And the blind users can detect where exactly is the code and access to the real-time information. That is amazing. Barcelona tests the system with a panel of 20 blind users. And after this test, the initial test, it was an incredible success. They decided to implement the system in all the network. And right now, the technology is implemented in 160 subway stations and 2,600 bus stops. But this technology is not only useful in Barcelona for the blind. Any person can scan the code and obtain the information, okay, in a visual way or an audible way, and in their own language, because language is a very important thing. For example, here we are seeing signage information that is in German. If you don't speak German, you cannot read it. This information is invisible for the blind, but it's invisible as well for people that sighted people that cannot understand German. So adding the navigance code, we can access to this information. I'm going to use navigance in order to read this code and receive the information.
1 meter away, help stop the spread of the coronavirus. 1, wash your hands regularly for at least 20 seconds. 2, when coughing and sneezing.
So I'm receiving the information in an audible format and in the language that my mobile phone is, that in this case is in English. But if I have the mobile phone in Japanese, I will receive this information in Japanese. So that is super important. So this technology in public transport has been implemented across the world. Like for example, here in New York, okay, that we are seeing an image in Manhattan, in navigance in a bus stop. And look at that. It's as simple as adding the navigance code. We make this bus stop more accessible for blind users. And for example, in other implementation, like in Brooklyn, in New York subway as well, empowering the visually impaired in order to be fully independent, and this is the key. And in other places, like for example, Los Angeles, in the biggest train station in the west coast of the United States, impressive space, this one, adding the navigance code in order to help the blind users to be completely independent moving through this massive space. So in going to 2020, we started thinking about the accessible and inclusive packaging. And because, remember, accessing the information to the package is a really challenge for the visually impaired. So celebrating the World Sight Day, the 2020 World Sight Day, Kellogg's plus the RNEB, the Visually Impaired Association in the UK, launched the first product, the first package with a navigance code. And adding this navigance code into the package, okay, I have here, okay, the package, okay, adding the navigance code into the package, allow to access to all the information. If you want to try, you can download navigance code app, and you can scan this code, and you can put very, very small in order to see how easy it is to scan it. If I scan this code from the distance,
22 centimeters away, Kellogg's Cocoa Pops.
Okay, I'm informing me about the distance and the product. And not only that, I can have access to all the information of this product, all the information that this product has, as simple as moving through the information, because all the information that is in the package is linked to the code. Imagine that the product, okay, is the product is in the supermarket itself. The users scan this code with their mobile phone. They don't need to focus on frame it, okay? So
58 centimeters away. Kellogg's Cocoa Pops.
Okay.
Show more information.
I can access to the information and showing the information.
But stopping span.
I can move through all the information that I want to receive. So blind users move through the screen with the fingers, okay? So I can move.
Filter and Kellogg's registered Cocoa Pops register. Chocolate flavor toasted rice. Net weight 480 grams estimated symbol. 30% less sugar star just as delicious. That's right. Kellogg's Cocoa Pops now has 30% less sugar star.
I can read all continually, or I can go exactly where I want to go. For example, if I go into, sorry.
Chocolate ingredients. Chocolate flavor toasted rice ingredient. Rice. Glucose syrup. Sugar. Fat allergens. Barley. May contain milk.
So it's amazing. I can access to all the information of the package only scanning the Naviance code. The idea is adding the Naviance code, okay, on the package and using a mobile phone can access to all the information on the package. That is quite amazing. You have more information, and today, for example, Mark Powell had presented, okay, previously, okay, the experience of the RNEB with this project. And the idea is that adding only the 3 centimeters code can be read at 3 meters far away without need to focus or enframe it. When Kellogg's launched this project in the UK, blind users, upload videos about their experience, like this one, the Dr. Amit Patel, and upload a video showing how the user is going through the Coop UK, a retailer, okay, in the UK, and look at this. The user was able to locate where exactly is the product and receive the information of the product. Please see.
5 feet away, straight. Kellogg's registered sign. Cocoa Pops registered sign. Chocolate flavor toasted rice. Net weight 480 grams, 30% less sugar, just as delicious. That's right. Kellogg's Cocoa Pops now has 30% less sugar, 30% less sugar on average than other chocolate flavor toasted rice cereals.
So imagine in all this kind of, in this supermarket itself, okay, the users from a very long distance scan the code and receive the information about the Kellogg's Cocoa Pops. As you can see right now, the comment of the user was, I have to say, I was super impressed. What do you think? Okay, and look at that. In Twitter, in the social network Twitter, imagine a lot of very positive comments. All the users say, okay, this is amazing, this is wonderful, and it was a really great feedback from the users. Okay, when Kellogg's launched this in the UK. So, indeed, there was a massive media coverage. Like, for example, the BBC News article talking about this launch of Kellogg's and the RNEB. So, indeed, Kellogg's won the last year Global Leadership Awards PAC award. That today we're going to know what is the winner of this year. Last year was Kellogg's. So, and Kellogg's, after this successful test, decide launch all Kellogg's cereal boxes sold in Europe, all of them with the Naviance code, beginning in the January 2022. That is amazing. And the last Worldside Day in last October, okay, P&G, Procter & Gamble, announced the launch of the Naviance code in Pantene product. That is quite amazing. You can know more reading the article of Sam Latif, the P&G Accessible Officer, that is going to talk a little bit later today. So, together, we can achieve a more inclusive world for everybody, for all the people. And imagine that in a very close future, we can see this, that when a blind user is seeing a supermarket shelf, okay, or not seeing, going through the supermarket, going to these big spaces with a lot of products, okay, in the supermarket shelves, can use the technology in order to locate products, decide what product want to pick up, be able to locate where the product is with an amazing feature that is called 360 vision that mix augmented reality with the location of the code, picking up the product and being completely independent, okay, when the user buy or find or discover any product in the world. This is our dream. Thank you so much. This is the incredible team from Nabilance that is working very hard in order to achieve that mission. And please, if you have any comment, want to contact with us, okay, please don't hesitate to contact us at info@nabilance.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all of our presenters today. Stay tuned for the next session where we'll hear from P&G, the Cyrus system and CRS packaging. Also, we've got more winners from the PAC Global Awards.
Welcome back to the PAC Global Awards Celebration and ONEOF100 Summit. We're here to celebrate the craft of package brand design and innovation. This is the intersection of greatness. Time to announce the winners in the brand marketing limited edition and/or seasonal category. And the nominees are and the awards of distinction go to Stoke, entered by Danone North America. Skittles, submitted by Marks. Congratulations to Marks for their Best in Class award for Starbucks Coffee Asia Pacific Limited. Judges felt this entry was just stunning, beautiful, simple. From the illustration work to the typography to the photography and execution across social media, this entry captures design executed with excellence and precision. Driven by meaningful, fun illustration, it's culturally relevant and well executed. The collection is cohesive, and the pack Instagrammable.
We are delighted to have been able to bring the unique coffee story of its single origin to consumer in Asia Pacific, and so proud to launch the design in the market successfully. I would like to give a special thanks to Starbucks APAC for making us a part of this incredible project. And thanks so much to PAC for the wonderful award. On behalf of the entire team here at Marks, thank you.
Thank you, PAC Global, for the award.
Best in Class goes to Invoke Brands for their Campbell's entry. Our judges said this was great innovation and design, which really popped on shelf. Campbell's iconic soup can label, redesigned for a limited time, offered a can-topping coaster of tomato seeds for the consumer to plant. The logo has center stage with colors chosen to communicate flavor rather than brand. And the photography brings visual identification and rich flavor to the picture.
Thank you, Campbell's, for trusting us to reimagine your iconic red and white soup label. We loved collaborating on your sustainability-focused LTO that included a new label and a plantable tomato seed coaster. At Campbell's, sustainability is not a limited time concern. Campbell's commitment was top of mind for us during the design process. So, how does one reimagine the world's most famous soup label but keep it unmistakably Campbell's? In our LTO design, few details harken back to the original. We kept the Campbell's logo at the forefront and reinforced the sustainability message in all of the elements. Thank you to PAC Global for this incredible recognition.
And now for the brand marketing, premium and/or luxury category. The nominees are and the awards of distinction go to Kohler, entered by Kohler Company. Lady M Confections, submitted by Lady M Confections Company Limited. And to Ciroc Summer Citrus, submitted by Force Majeure Design. It's a Best-in-Class award for Coho Creative for their entry submission, Blanton's. Our judges said this design feels sophisticated and nuanced, with every detail under consideration. The horse and rider are absolutely the icing on the cake, emphasized further by the uniquely crafted die-cut box. The provenance story captured in map texture and destination tag all add to the overall larger brand experience. Here we see all aspects working in harmony to deliver a great design, rich with storytelling. Well done.
Hi, I'm Mike Skurlowski.
I'm Aaron Lawrence. Michael Busher.
Thank you, PAC Global Award Committee, and all the judges for this prestigious recognition. We also want to thank all of our partners and teams who helped bring this wonderful design to fruition.
But most importantly, Armand Vo, our partner at La Maison de Whisky in Paris and Singapore, and our partners at Age International, and Aaron Lawrence for his vision and dedication to bringing one of Kentucky's greatest assets to markets across the world.
This year's Blanton's Single Barrel La Maison de Whisky 2021 edition was testimony to the power of partnership and storytelling. As with all our special editions, we always try to impart the authentic stories and the heritage of this one-of-a-kind bourbon. But most importantly, the reason Blanton's is Blanton's, Warehouse H, here in Frankfort, Kentucky.
Cheers, PAC Global Committee and judges. We are honored and humbled by this award.
Pompadour receives a Best-in-Class award in this category, submitted by Ivy in China. The judges said this was a wonderful, whimsical package design overall, tremendously handsome use of the iconic barber pole to bring an upscale strategy and look to this niche fragrance market. The combination of a leather outer package with this glass rotatable design feels unique and upscale. One can almost smell and feel the classic experience of a historic barbershop here.
Hello everyone, we are from IB. Thank you very much to the award juries for recognizing our work, and we are grateful to the team at PAC Global who make this possible. We are super excited and thrilled to be receiving this award. It's a proud moment for our team, and we are truly honored for the recognition from the global creative community.
We would like to take this opportunity to thank our wonderful clients for putting their trust in us. Along with such amazing products they have.
With such wonderful brand and a brilliant packaging like this, we were very inspired to take it even one step further. So to help our client with their launch, we approached multiple high-end barber shops in key cities within the country.
Thank you to PAC Global. Congrats to the strategy team and design team. The design concept was inspired through the experience going to barbershop. Well done to our team and congrats again.
Thank you. We look forward to being here with you next year.
Best-in-Class goes to Ungava Gin, submitted by Pigeon. The judges told us that the intricate details on the bottle is something you want to keep looking at. The print on the back adds a nice bit of depth to the front, as it appears ever so subtly through. The packaging design overall, and yellow color as a selective approach, has a contemporary sensibility.
We at Pigeon spent time discovering what makes Ungava unique by reviewing the competitive landscape as well as consumer and cultural truths. We then recrafted the bottle shape, added engravings, and silkscreened the graphics, all for a tactile 360 experience that celebrates Ungava's Quebec provenance. We then extended to an integrated marketing campaign across digital and out of home for the rebrand launch. While partnering with CBC's sponsorship of the Tokyo Olympics, the results were incredible. We're so thrilled for the success of this homegrown brand.
Next, we have the Brand Marketing Design for Brand E-commerce category. And the award of distinction goes to Good Food, entered by Tempo Flexible Packaging. And it's a Best-in-Class award for Chapstick, submitted by Marks. Our judges said Chapstick's brand purpose of nourishing positivity was fulfilled in this initiative by empowering consumers to share customized messages of positivity. The bright color palettes, playful patterns, lighthearted iconography, and messaging like "you did it" all support their brand purpose through design. The fulfillment box is received as if it's been gift wrapped, designed with simple black and white striped graphics that mimic the website and promote a gifting sensibility.
So the last couple of years have posed some real challenges. With being forced to rethink old paradigms, we with Chapstick were able to shift the way people interact with the brand, providing consumers a more diverse and personalized experience.
We want to be sure and thank our GSK partners in this initiative, especially Heidi Short and Teresa Jansen, part of the Chapstick brand team. And of course, last but not least, the PAC Awards themselves for recognizing the work and everything that went into it in this award. Thank you, thank you. On behalf of our Larger Marks team, to all of you, thank you.
Now we send you back to Leeds, United Kingdom.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Sam Latif, Company Accessibility Leader for Procter & Gamble. Sam, welcome.
Imagine being blind and being in the shower, not knowing what's the difference between the shampoo and the conditioner bottle because they both feel the same.
Can you imagine cleaning your floor in a wheelchair with a mop?
Can you imagine accessing and opening some of our toothbrush packages with arthritic conditions?
So I have a condition called retinitis pigmentosa, and I have been blind since I was 16 years old. As a young child, I was able to see enough to read, but to read very slowly. And I lost most of my ability to read by the age of 16. And it was at that time I had to learn new ways of doing things. I always had, many people telling me generally I couldn't do stuff. So no was a normality in my life. So when I wanted to go to university, I was told, oh, no, you can't. We've never had a blind person. Even when I went to certain job interviews, I was told, no, you're not able to join this company because you're blind and you won't be able to use Excel, etc. So very early on, I had learned to actually not take no for an answer. And I think that's kind of developed some of my personality and made me who I am today. Inclusive design is about making sure that whatever we design, whether it's products, packaging, facilities, can be accessed by the maximum number of people. And in my daily life, a lot of these things are very, very difficult for me to do.
When I met Sam, I immediately was inspired by her drive to help us think holistically about inclusive design.
And the way to do that is by making our products, our packaging, our advertising fully inclusive to be usable by as many people as possible.
A young girl stands mesmerized in a field watching an approaching tornado. The same girl, now an adult gymnast, is in an Olympic arena.
A boy knocks over a drink.
More doing chores for mom per roll? Bounty is more absorbent, so the roll can last 50% longer than the leading ordinary brand. So you get more life per roll. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
The impact that we can have with adding features to a bottle that helps a visually impaired consumer identify the difference between shampoo and conditioner. It can be as simple as that. And it's opened my eyes to the opportunities that we have in front of us as we introduce new products to market personally when I was in consumers' homes and when I was seeing the impact that it had on their lives. It was very emotional. It was difficult for the team to fight back tears as the participants are tearing up. The fact that P&G would even consider doing something like this for someone with a visual impairment was mind-blowing for them. Things that we take for granted, things that we don't even think about are stressors for those individuals. To have a part in eliminating that is really cool.
One of my most favorite companies when it comes to inclusive design is Apple. Email Helen Stringer.
What's the subject of the email?
Quick update. Apple have built every single device with inclusion in mind. You could be blind and be able to lift up a regular iPhone and start using it without any help required from anyone. You can be deaf and use the phone. You can have dexterity challenges. You can even have cerebral palsy or any other disability and be able to use that phone. And it doesn't cost the consumer anything extra. That has actually been one of the key inspirations for me to do that with consumer goods, because if the iPhone has really revolutionized how I do things, why can't we do that with consumer goods products? Some of our best designs are inclusively designed by accident. If you think about using pods, they are so inclusive, it's unbelievable, so easy to use for people with multiple disabilities, and even if you don't have a disability, it's very easy to use pods. Swiffer came along and has really revolutionized how you mop the floor if you're in a wheelchair. You can do it with one hand, it's super easy, and there's no spills. Last year for the Olympics program, we sponsored a blind Olympian, Lex Gillette, and we made a short film about Lex. But what was really sad when I saw the film was he wasn't able to see the footage in the film, and so we were able to make that video audio described, which meant that he could listen to the visual narrative and appreciate the film that we have created on him.
A young boy.
The hardest thing I ever had to tell my son was that he would never see again.
Photographs of the boy, Lex Gillette, from a schoolboy to graduation.
So I fought to keep him in public school. I encouraged him to play sports.
Lex rests his arms on his mom's shoulder as she leads him into an athletics arena.
The first time I saw Alexis jump, I cringed because he ran off of the lane.
With a mask over his eyes, Lex leaps into the air, not knowing he has veered off the lane. He lands outside the sandpit.
I told him, Alexis, it does not matter what anyone says.
Inclusive advertising is an area where we've picked up huge momentum. I mean, Lex Gillette was the beginning. We've made the commitment in the UK to ensuring all of our advertising is audio described as well. And we've really changed the whole industry.
A flashback to the dog shaking off mud and water. Earlier, a woman pours Flash into a bucket, then cleans the muddy kitchen floor, bath and countertops. She admires the clean home.
Consumers themselves are so touched and blown away by the commitment of a large company like P&G to be thinking about consumers and inclusivity and accessibility.
Inclusive design should be an integral part of the design as we launch any new product and make sure that it's a good fit for more consumers and a big delighter for more consumers.
And when you think about the spending power of that collective group being $3 to $4 trillion, from a business point of view, that's a real opportunity to grow the company, to grow the business.
We're on the journey, we've got a long way to go, but once I think people get this and are part of this journey, everything just snowballs into action, and I'm noticing that around me, and I can't wait till we actually make all of our products fully inclusive, and I know we're going to get there. So for me, inclusive design is about touching and improving the lives of the world's consumers even more completely than we are doing today.
Hello, I'm Sam Latif, P&G's Company Accessibility Leader. And today I'm delighted to have this opportunity to talk to you about how we can work collectively to revolutionise the packaging industry so that it can empower blind people to identify products independently. I'm going to start off with some stats. Firstly, did you know that there's 2.2 billion people in the world with low vision? And this is according to the World Health Organization. And there's 283 million blind people in the world. And did you also know that less than 10% of blind people can read Braille? So how do you think these people know what's inside our packaging? Recent research conducted by our Pantene team has shown us that blind people can spend, on average, up to 30 minutes per product to make it accessible. So blind people tend to make products accessible by wrapping an elastic band around the product, or by adding what's called a bump dot to the product so that it sticks out and the blind person can remember what that product is for. In addition, when blind people are in store and at home or anywhere, they often need the help of a family member, a friend, or even paid help sometimes to help them identify what the product is. This is certainly true for me. There's not a single day that goes by when I don't have to ask someone to help me identify a product. Bottles, tubes, cartons, they all feel very generic. Think about it. If you can't see the colours or the pictures on a package or read the text on the pack, how can you tell what's inside that pack? Face wash and moisturisers, when they're in the same kind of tubes, they feel the same. Toothpaste, antiseptic creams, again, feel the same. Shaving foam and deodorant sprays in the same kind of bottles. Even things like milk or fruit juice are in the same cartons. And obviously things like canned beans or canned tomatoes, all of these product types cannot be identified independently by a blind person. We need help using technology. We need help from another individual. But it doesn't need to be like this. We, the packaging industry, can come together and develop a universal tactile system where we put a tactile identifier on the pack, which will allow blind and low vision people to recognise the product form through that identifier. Tactile identifiers are a phenomenal way for blind people to recognise the product independently. In 2018, P&G Beauty Herbal Essences introduced tactile stripes on our shampoo bottles and tactile circles on our conditioner bottles. I can't explain in words the pure joy I experience whenever I touch the stripes and circles, because I can feel independently the product type. And it's not just me. The response from the community has been so overwhelmingly positive that it's just shown us how important tactile is for all product categories. Imagine this universal tactile system. It will help us identify products through touch. So each product type will have its unique identifier, and we can make this possible. It's down to us in the packaging industry to work together to develop this universal tactile system so that every category will have, like shampoos will have stripes, conditioners will have circles, and on we go for every product category. This will enable blind people to tell what's inside that bottle independently. Let's work together to give back independence and confidence to the blind and low vision community. Thank you.
A slim woman in a headscarf, Sam, carries a plate of toast through to her 3 beaming children at the breakfast table.
Technology transformed my life personally. Ever since I lost my sight at school in a drama class, technology has been vital to how I access the world around me.
Sam arrives at the modern glass-walled offices of Procter & Gamble, where she's greeted by a smiling, smartly dressed security guard and accompanied through the lobby.
Technology was the reason I wanted to work in a global company like Procter & Gamble and really transform the way business was done using technology.
Later, Sam leads a meeting in a boardroom where her colleagues try special grip-restricting gloves that mimic how limited dexterity would pose a challenge opening bottles of shampoo and shaving gel.
What I love about a technology-driven career at P&G is that it's a journey of discovery. We want to use STEM to make our products, our packaging, our environment totally accessible for everybody.
Sam hands a pair of vision-restricting goggles to a female colleague, who puts them on.
One of my personal highlights in my career has been bringing the insight into the company that there's millions of people around the world who have low or no vision, and that's actually exaggerated when people are in the shower when they don't wear their contacts or glasses.
The woman holds a bottle of shampoo at arm's length and frowns.
I made a recommendation to the company to invent tactile markings on bottles that would help you differentiate by touch shampoo from conditioner. We came up with a very simple way to implement this using laser technology.
Lots of pink bottles are quickly swept along the production line.
I was able to physically lift the bottles off the line.
Sam runs a finger along embossed ridges on a bottle of herbal essences.
The feeling was just electric. I had been thinking that for many, many years. P&G had actually opened the doors to enable this to actually happen.
The woman in the goggles is handed another bottle with convenient raised dots on it. She runs her thumb along the embossed tactile markings.
I'm the first woman in my family to go through university and have a career. Being a woman at P&G has never posed any barriers. I've been personally enabled to have the freedom to go and discover and look in places that have never been explored before.
Sam speaks at a conference where she then introduces other visually impaired people to the revolutionary new packaging.
I feel like I've got a great balance. I feel like I'm a great mum. I do the best at work. All the things that are very important to me, I feel I can achieve them with a career at P&G.
Sam Latif, Associate Director, Company Accessibility. P&G, #WeSeeEqual.
Imagine making every single product in every single store accessible. We cannot shop independently. We can't see what's on the shelf at all. I'm Sam Latif. I'm P&G's Company Accessibility Leader, and I happen to be blind. A key priority for P&G is to build disability confidence. There's 250 million people worldwide with moderate to severe sight loss. Imagine going into a store and not being able to see what's on the shelf, touching a lot of products on the shelf, knocking them down. It's very overwhelming. It's very difficult to make an informed decision.
Seeing 4 tags, 36 inches away. Pantene Pro V Miracles Intense Rescue Mask.
NaviLens is a modern, colourful QR code which instantly gets picked up by the smartphone at an angle from far away. It's allowing us to find the product totally independently. Here! I found it! This is the one! For the first time ever, be able to literally see what's on the shelf. It's really instant.
Pantene Pro V Miracles Intense Rescue Mask.
That's something that we've never ever been able to do before.
Pantene Pro V Miracles Grow Strong Shampoo with
Wow.
vitamin and bamboo extract.
The ingredients, how to use the product, the sell-by date. The inclusion of NaviLens on our Pantene products is going to be really a game changer for people like me. I've never been able to go up to a shelf and without touching it, see what's on there. It's incredibly powerful. It's something that we've never experienced as blind people before.
And this is another step in our journey to making our communications, our advertising, our physical products accessible for the 1.85 billion people in the world with a disability. It gives us back confidence, independence and dignity that we very much deserve.
Thank you, Sam. That was so insightful. Now we're going to head over to Florida. We're going to meet Victoria Watts, and we're excited to learn much more about universal raised symbols.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here today to speak with you about the importance of product accessibility and how universal design is shaping the future of packaging. Shortly after launching my first beauty brand, Victorialand, I learned that my fourth and youngest child, Cyrus, was born blind due to a rare hereditary disorder that affects his retinas. When Cyrus was diagnosed, I knew very little about blindness. But as I watched Cyrus navigate his unsighted world every day, I began to worry about the simple everyday tasks I take for granted as a sighted person. How will he bathe or shower himself? How will he go grocery shopping without assistance? With most products packaged for the sighted consumer, this presents a huge challenge for the visually impaired. It was then that I became determined to find a way to offer the visually impaired the same ability to experience and enjoy products as my sighted customers. At the time, there were a handful of brands using Braille in their packaging, but knowing that only 10% of the low vision and blind read Braille, I set out to create my own solution. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you had soap in your eyes in the shower and blindly reached for a product? Instead of shampoo, you grab the conditioner. With many packages sharing the same profile, it's easy to make that mistake. How often have you squinted your eyes, unable to read the text or list of ingredients on the packaging because it's too small, even with your glasses? I know that's happened to me more times than I'd like to admit. Now imagine you are blind and there are no workarounds to help you distinguish one product from another or follow usage instructions. You've got a real problem. If you have any form of vision loss, distinguishing between beauty and personal care products can be a huge challenge, and simple everyday activities we take for granted become obstacles to your independence, enjoyment, and safety. All too often, accessible packaging is not considered when designing products, especially when designing luxury products where aesthetics is critical to the brand's image and identity. Cyrus is changing all that. Cyrus is the first and only modern tactile packaging language designed to give the over 2.2 billion people worldwide who have some degree of vision loss independence, enjoyment, and product safety. Cyrus's raised symbols and embossed QR codes make it easy to identify products, learn about ingredients, and understand usage right at your fingertips. The importance of accessible packaging is obvious. It benefits a huge and frequently overlooked demographic. But accessible packaging isn't always done right, either due to lack of testing or a lack of knowledge about certain disabilities and impairments. So it was extremely important that I work alongside the visually impaired to learn about the challenges they face when it comes to product accessibility. So over the course of the next few years, I researched, conducted focus groups, and worked closely with the Lighthouse organization, where a blind gentleman was instrumental in providing me with incredible insights on what the visually impaired community needed to enjoy independence. It was through his guidance that I learned how valuable QR codes could be, especially if these codes are embossed so they can be easily identified. While Braille is a beautiful and amazing language, I ruled it out as a messaging system. As it turns out, only 10% of the visually impaired population reads it, and Braille occupies a lot of space, which is premium on beauty product packaging. What's more, existing Braille solutions are bulky and hard to master. After years of research and conducting focus groups, I determined that by combining QR codes with a simple-to-use raised symbol system, I could design a highly effective method of sharing product identification and product usage, as well as provide a better experience for all users. This was the inspiration that led to the creation of the Cyrus system. The Cyrus system is the first and only modern tactile packaging language designed to give the 2.2 billion people worldwide who have some degree of vision loss independence, enjoyment, and safety. Cyrus is not only named after my son Cyrus, it is an anagram for raised universal symbols. Cyrus is comprised of a library of tactile symbols plus QR code technology that provides easy product identification through touch and audible product information with a simple scan to all users. Each QR code is embossed to allow for easy identification to scan using a smartphone. Cyrus's patented technology makes it possible to identify products, learn about ingredients, and understand usage right at your fingertips. The symbols are intuitive, think emojis, so they can be learned by anyone instantaneously. Each Cyrus symbol is optimized for touch with the right height and thickness for easy reading. Universal design is based on the belief that by designing products for special needs first, those products work better for everyone, regardless of age, size, ability, or disability, and might in fact inspire new ideas that don't ordinarily exist. The Cyrus system is a perfect example of universal design. It was designed for Cyrus, but it has benefits for everyone. In addition to the blind and visually impaired, this system also benefits the aging population, those with dyslexia, foreign language speakers, and the sighted who seek easy, intuitive communication. Think about the average person who wears glasses or contact lenses. When you're in the shower, you can't wear your glasses or contacts. Universal design benefits them as well. The future of packaging is dependent on adaptation. In a world of packaging often designed around the product rather than the person, most companies are missing out on an overlooked consumer segment and an opportunity to expand their customer base, as well as improve the loyalty of their existing customers by showing them that you're a brand dedicated to fairness and inclusivity. As the industry continues to show forward-thinking progress in areas like sustainability, it has an excellent opportunity to show the same level of innovation in inclusivity. By incorporating the principles of universal design from the initial stage of product development, inclusivity will no longer be an afterthought in packaging. Brands should continue evolving and consider packaging options for those forgotten consumers because inclusive design does not just benefit those with physical limitations, it benefits everyone. Everyone, regardless of ability, has the right to experience and enjoy products. People who are visually impaired crave independence just like everyone else, and with today's technology and resources, it should be a standard practice that products are packaged in a way that makes them accessible for all. My goal is to make Cyrus universal by 2025. In order to do that, we need to enlist the packaging industry and as many brands as possible. By speaking the same language, we can break down barriers. That requires awareness, education, technology, and training. Most importantly, we need to enable every brand, regardless of size, budget, staffing, and skills, to participate in Cyrus by providing the right tools tailored to the individual business reality. And to further accomplish this, we will be developing Cyrus symbols for many other categories, including household goods, food and beverage, and beyond. Over the past 5 years, we've seen more inclusive designs emerge, which shows great promise for the modern shift towards accessible packaging. While more and more companies are starting to think about inclusivity when it comes to their products, the packaging industry still has a long way to go. It does not have to be a massive revolution. Simple updates to existing products can open up the market to so many more consumers who deserve the same quality of life as everyone else. Packaging becomes more inclusive when everyone can use the same products. When we all speak the same language, barriers are removed and equality is truly enjoyed. The future of sight is touch.
Thank you for joining us in Leeds today and to all of the wonderful presenters. Now we're going to send you back over to Toronto, Canada with Jim Downham, but first let's take a look at the award winners for the next PAC Global category.
And now for the winners in the Package Innovation categories. Here are the nominees in the Technical Design subcategory. And the awards of distinction go to Pampers Ichiban, entered by Procter & Gamble Technology, Beijing. Tylenol, Pepcid, and Benylin, submitted by the Jones Healthcare Group. Sunset Angel Sweet Paperboard, entered by Mastronardi Produce. The Art of Shaving, submitted by Tap Packaging and Design. and to Parallel 49 Brewing, which was submitted by Boxmaster. Congratulations to Trivium Packaging for their Best in Class award for Bubble Tree. Here's a few words from our judges. Nice wow factor and easy to use and reuse. An intelligent design that focuses innovation in all areas towards superior user experience and sustainability. Considerations have been taken in finding ways to optimize handling in order to minimize wastage of the product, reduce plastic use, and for easy recycling of disposable elements.
On behalf of Trivium Packaging and American Bubble, I want to thank the PAC Global team for all the hard work, effort, and passion they put into making these awards possible. It's an honor to have our work recognized for its innovation, sustainability, and technical expertise. On behalf of Trivium, I'd like to express our gratitude to American Bubble. It's a pleasure to work with the Bubble Tree brand, creating a truly outstanding bottle that is beautiful, sustainable, and designed to enhance the joy it brings your customers while they experience the use of your product.
It's a best-in-class win for Procter & Gamble Technology Beijing for their entry, Pampers. Our judges said this was beautiful design and powerful graphics. The black on the package gives a very premium feel and looks great on shelf, as well as for e-commerce. The perforation and design on the bag looks like the perfect guide for consumers to open the package for a pleasant package experience.
Thank you, PAC Global, for granting us this award.
Indeed, we are tremendously pleased to receive this award.
It's a great honor to both technical team and design team.
Without the distinctive silk material and the impactful graphics, we're not able to bring the inside out and the superior look and feel.
The biggest honors go to our technical team since they have enabled us to get this far.
We also would like to thank our supplier and agency partners
for motivating us to continue having the highest level of dedication in design creativity.
Without you, we're not able to bring this beautiful product to life and help Pampers grow in China's super premium diaper business. Thank you.
Our next winners are from the Design for E-commerce category. The nominees are and the awards of distinction goes to NAB, entered by BurgoPack. Manuela Echeverry, entered by Smurfit Kappa Columbia. And to Montreal Heart Institute, entered by Cascade. Congratulations to Liquibox, a best-in-class win for their entry, Hex Performance. Our international judges weighed in, a breakthrough e-commerce and retail solution. The more optimized closure will allow for the convenience of single-handed tap dispensing, eliminating the need to lift the bottle to pour. The packaging and branding stands out in crowded retail aisles with its unique format and shape.
Yay! Thank you so much, PAC Global, for this award. Liquibox is honored to receive it. It was an honor to work with Hex Performance and develop this bag-and-box packaging format for laundry detergent. Thank you again.
Thank you, PAC Awards, for recognizing the newest packaging format for Hex Performance laundry detergent. This innovation is a result of our commitment to our customers to create something more eco and e-commerce friendly. Big shout out to Liquibox and PCA for their partnership in launching the Eco Package.
And now for the winners from the Sustainable Design subcategory. Here are the nominees. And the awards of distinction go to Dainty, the rice company, entered by Les Aliments Dainty Foods. Waste to Wear, submitted by Waste to Wear. Charlie's Chopper Clean Cut, entered by OI Glass. And to Upland, submitted by Smurfit Kappa. It's a best-in-class win for Club Coffee for their entry, President's Choice. Our judges enjoyed the AromaPack coffee system featuring Bourdieu technology. Judges felt this was a great innovation and a wonderful example of using technology with fiber-based packaging to provide barrier properties for coffee while being widely recyclable. To innovate a packaging material and support a functional and appealing structure for the consumer within the coffee category is quite a feat. Well done.
Thanks, Jim, for your continued support of our efforts. At Club Coffee, innovation starts with listening to consumers and then addressing their unmet needs. Consumers told us they didn't want plastic, but did want packaging that is truly recyclable and truly sustainable. With our partners at Graphic Packaging and Loblaw, we found a breakthrough solution. We delivered AromaPack featuring the Bourdieu packaging system. It brings together the strengths of all three partners. Club Coffee's historic expertise in coffee and sustainable packaging, combined with Graphic Packaging's global expertise in paper-based packaging systems and Loblaw brand's legacy as a consumer advocate and true ESG leader. Together, we've delivered what consumers want, and consumers love it. Thank you to Loblaw, Graphic Packaging, and PAC Global.
I'm so excited to share this prestigious award together with Club Coffee. This is a true joint achievement, and together we have made a shift change on the North American coffee market when introducing our recyclable carton-based Bourdieu package.
So President's Choice is known for innovation. We innovate with great partners like Club Coffee. While some people didn't think we could innovate in coffee, we worked with Club to deliver the world's first compostable pot for the North American single-serve format. And we didn't just stop there. We recognize that multi-polymer plastics and cans have a significant impact on our environment, either sorting and moving to landfills or shipping empty cans to be filled. That's why this new packaging from Club Coffee is the right alternative for our great tasting coffee. It's going to mean achieving better diversion rates for landfills and a greenhouse gas benefit equal to planting 40,000 trees every year. For Loblaws, this is more than just changing our coffee packaging. It's about making a difference.
Congratulations to Friendlier for their Best in Class award for their entry called Friendlier. Our judges provided their thoughts. A clever creation of a system for returnable, reusable takeout containers within local communities. Excellent packaging initiative. Applause to Friendlier for bringing an innovative design to the marketplace, especially considering the big increase in single-use containers for takeout in the COVID environment.
Wow. Thank you so much.
It's hard to believe that a little over a year ago, we were launching our first ever reuse pilots. And now we're scaling across Ontario and we're winning a PAC Global Award.
We were driven by a dream of a world where packaging was not viewed as waste, but rather as valuable as the products within it.
Our society has been conditioned to dispose. You get your product, you rip off the packaging and toss it to the side. The abandoned packaging is nothing more than garbage.
But we believe packaging can be so much more. We have the opportunity to change the way we consume our resources. Instead of take, make, dispose, we can take, make, and reuse over and over again.
Together, we can create a prosperous world where there's no waste and there's enough resources for everyone. Thank you so much for believing in us and for believing in a friendlier future.
And congratulations goes to West Rock for a best-in-class win for their entry called Recipe Unlimited Swiss Chalet. From our judges, a great example of a systems approach to packaging solutions. By changing the entire line, additional synergies benefiting the environment are being achieved. The look and feel is consistent with the brand and consumer experience. This is a great answer to support single-use packaging sustainability and still meet the functional needs to support the product freshness.
On behalf of WestRock, I would like to thank PAC Global for this prestigious honor. We also would like to thank Recipe Unlimited and the entire Swiss Chalet team for partnering with WestRock so that together we can accomplish our sustainability goals like moving toward recyclable, fiber-based packaging solutions. This award has special meaning to WestRock as it recognizes our partnerships, our portfolio of paperboard products, and our purpose, imagining and delivering on the promise of a sustainable future. We are extremely proud.
Innovation in design is powerful to support sustainability without compromising function. In this case, with our Enchill Natural Craft, we deliver the recyclable option, which also provide outstanding grease and moisture barrier required for many food service applications.
Je voudrais sincèrement remercier l'équipe de WestRock Warwick qui a contribué à ce projet. Un gros merci.
Swiss Chalet, alongside the greater Recipe organization, is committed to using our scale for good to operate our business in a sustainable way and reduce our impact on the environment. With this commitment in mind, we set out to find a solution around the removal of single-use plastics within our take-home restaurant packaging. We needed a solution that not only supported our vision for long-term sustainability, but also one that maintained the integrity of our food quality, heat retention, menu structure, and overall brand appeal. This was truly a cross-functional and collaborative effort across multiple internal teams, including marketing, operations excellence, and sourcing, as well as our external partner WestRock, who are the experts in the design and functionality of our new packaging. We give our thanks to everyone who was involved. Your hard work and dedicated time is greatly appreciated and has truly seen great results.
And it's best in class for Klockner Pentaplast for their entry, KP Zapora. Our judges weighed in. Congratulations on this achievement and fascinating innovation. A fully circular package. It provides function for the consumer with its ability to contain liquid while maintaining product freshness and appearance. It's easy to rinse and recycle. Eliminating the pad is a huge win for consumers and recyclers both. Well done.
I'm delighted that KP Zapora has been recognised at the PAC Global Awards. Our innovation programme at KP is underpinned by sustainability and continues to deliver products such as KP Zapora that facilitate genuine circularity for primary food packaging. I would like to thank the judging panel, but also to recognise that KP Zapora would not have been possible without the incredible efforts of the entire team. Thank you.
We'd like to thank PAC Global Awards for this achievement. We're incredibly proud of it. We're always working and striving towards sustainable packaging, and this is just one of our many products along the way. And I'd like to also thank and say how proud I am of all of the teams and the collaborations that went towards this.
Plastics recycling needs to be and will be the route to our business's success and core values. So thank you so much to the PAC Global Awards for this accolade. We're really delighted.
Now, back to Toronto for our final summit session before the PAC Global Awards grand finale.
Thank you, Gavin, Sam, and Victoria. Truly extraordinary, heartfelt stories. Leaders of our cause for sure. Now allow me to introduce our final speaker today. I am here with Jacqueline Dawes, President and CEO of CRS Packaging. Jacqueline, welcome. Great to be with you.
Thanks, Jim. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Yeah. So you've been on a journey since the last time I saw you last, which was 3 years ago.
Yes.
3-4 years ago. And now you're an owner, operator, entrepreneur, and having a lot of fun.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what's been going on in your life since I saw you last to get you to this point today.
Well, 3 years ago, well, as you know, I've been in the industry for 30 years now in packaging, started in labels. From there, went to rigid packaging and then into distribution. So I've had an opportunity to touch a lot of different packages,
Yep.
a lot of different materials. and have a passion to see a package come from concept to commercialization and get in the consumer's hands. It is the coolest thing ever, and all the people's hands that actually touch that. And since then,
Yep.
I ended up acquiring a company. I was working for a company that went through an acquisition and didn't fit with me, so I found myself out of a job. Go figure. Yeah.
Like one of many.
Yes, exactly. And decided I had an opportunity to acquire this company.
What did they manufacture?
Manufacturing in blow molding,
Okay.
plastic bottles.
In North America?
In Canada.
Okay.
So there were 3 to 4 machines they were running, about 26 employees. So I went down the process, and it was a fun process. Realized after 30 years it still exists.
So the owner of the company,
Yes.
what did he say to you?
Basically that I would not be able to run the company because I was a female and not technical enough to run a blow molding operation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that just made you madder, I'm sure.
It put the challenge, the gauntlet was down.
Yeah.
So off I went. And I brought in a minority male partner that allowed me the opportunity to continue with the acquisition, because I could see that I could take a dying dynasty and create a living legacy for the next generation in the packaging industry.
And here we are today, 3 years later, and it's been quite a journey.
It has, changing the culture of the company. We are now 14 machines, 60 employees, and, it's easy being a boss, and it takes real effort to be a leader. And I'm committed to leading the next generation of leaders.
And tell me a little bit about your leadership style then. What's the difference between management and leadership?
We don't have any titles. We're very flat-lined.
Okay.
In fact, my card says Jacqueline Dawes. I don't have a title as I'm part of a team. That is my title.
Okay, cool.
And so does everyone else's. We're sort of like a football team. We make plays. 85% of the employees are new to the packaging industry. So
Okay.
we huddle, we make a play, we look at the go play. We sometimes make mistakes. We come back, we huddle, but we get to learn from that. We get to evolve and grow.
And I think that one of the things that you'd mentioned to me before was that the person that you bought the company from said you really couldn't make this without people from the industry.
Yes.
What's your view on that? Obviously, that was part of your challenge.
It's a static view, and if we don't plan new talent in the industry, where are we going to be in another 30 years? So why not give people the passion and opportunity to come out and learn this amazing industry that gave me a great lifestyle and a lot of other people as well.
What was needed to get you to the culture of today, and what does that look like?
Evolution was needed, and a lot of great...
Probably revolution. Yeah.
No, actually, we're very fortunate. How we hire is a little different. Because we're not culling from within the industry, we hire on attitude, which allows everyone to use their fullest potential. And I'm not a micromanager, so it allows people to learn on their own pace and run with it.
But you talked about you hired on attitude. Like so what's your process? I mean, I don't see you sitting in an office by yourself interviewing one person after another. What's your process look like, and how are your team members involved?
That's a really good question. We interview as a team.
Okay.
Because if we're going to bring on a team member, we all have to make that collaborative decision to make sure we create a leader out of that person coming on board.
Cool. Now you hire for attitude. Do you have a checklist or, passion, energy, or what are the kinds of things you're looking for?
You can hear someone's passion, their need to learn, their want to learn, and you see it very fast. A lot of people ask, do you have a job description? And because everyone likes to fit into that role. We don't really have job description. We have a general idea, but it's yours to create.
Wow.
Yes.
So everybody gets hired, they walk in. Although very, very specific roles that you have could be a controller. I mean, they obviously have to have very definitive skills, financial skills. But are we now talking about people that we bring into the shop and we just kind of hire them, open the door, throw them in, and away they go?
And so, yeah, everyone just comes in and here's your role, learn everything you possibly can.
Now, let's talk a little bit about inclusion and diversity and all of those other wonderful things that are very topical these days. You're a minority yourself, correct?
Yes, I am.
What is your background?
Born and raised in India.
Okay.
Moved to Canada. And I'm literally a United Nations last name and everything. Someone met someone somewhere. And so I am the United Nations, and I have been a female in the packaging industry when there weren't a lot of females.
Okay.
And owner and operator of a blow molding facility, I think is still a slim sliver. And it's a lot of fun. When we hire, attitude doesn't have a creed, a race, a religion, a color. So, and potential doesn't either. So we do not, you can be whatever you want to be and whoever you want to be, gender, race, everyone deserves the same respect, compassion, and deserves the dignity.
That's a really cool way to come at it. And let's talk a little bit about the whole preconceived notion upon which you bought this business to start with. You've got a technical business,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
And there are skills required.
Yes.
Were they inherited when you bought the business? Have you taught people? Like, what's your process there for getting people up to speed to learn about your process?
I'm gonna share with you. Last year, we all took a bow. We launched over 31 new custom molds last year.
Wow.
With minimum, like when I say minimum, maybe 2, 3, 4 people from the industry that actually would know that. It was mainly the new talent that was actually propelling the success ratios.
The innovation?
Different thought processes coming together. It's again, the huddle. And yeah, we did make some mistakes, but guess what? We actually catch the mistakes before it goes out because there's a passion and there's a care.
Right.
So it's awesome.
Now, you started with, and I'm not looking for numbers here, you started with your business that would have been at X number of dollars revenue. What have you got to today as a percentage increase?
3 times.
3 times from day one.
Yes. One of the things that about CRS is about giving back in the industry, and the team knows this. We will be the best paid, the most exploring culture there is out there because we're willing to try. We're willing to go down the road and try. So the money will come as long as it's happy. The people are happy. They want to be there. They have fun. The business will come as well because people want to be part of that energy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you probably got people knocking on your door wanting to be a part of it.
I really hope so. Come on down. It's a lot of fun. Yes,
what did you hire by word of mouth? Is that a big way?
Yes, actually, a lot of our people, and also we promoted people that actually were in the back. We promoted people to evolve through the process.
So you've used the word attitude a number of times, and I love your tagline. Tell everybody about your tagline.
Attitude sets your altitude.
There you go.
It's my husband's favorite saying. It's on our everything we do, we talk about that.
Yeah, that's really cool. The other thing I'd like you to just touch on, which I think was very symbolic, was when we met, you had me pick out describe that little goodie that you handed in a jar, and you said, you need to pick one of these, and you said, everybody on the team gets one of these. Tell us about that.
So our logo is a gear, and every great machine has gears in it, whether it's your car, whether it's your watch, and everyone, whether it's a small gear, big gear, black gear, red gear, orange gear, everyone plays their part in moving this massive machine called CRS Packaging forward. So the gears all have to move for this to be a reality.
That's really cool.
And everyone plays their part.
Now today, and the world knows that today we're still in the middle of COVID, sadly. And when I invited you to come and do this, you wanted to bring, I think the first number that you said to me was, can I bring 10 team members with me or whatever? But then we cut you down to, I think, 3 or 4. Yeah. And now sadly, you don't have any here with you today just because we're following COVID protocols. But tell us a little bit about that and why you even wanted to do that. Why was that important to you?
Together we're stronger.
Okay.
So, and this morning everyone's texting me, hey Jack, enjoy your day. They want to be here. It's their passion. They want to be here.
Yeah.
They want to talk about their experience at CRS. And look, I've been around the block. I've worked at different places, and so have many of our employees. We've never really felt this synergy or this energy that we can actually feel. So we love being together.
Right. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know at PAC we have a very small team, but we do call ourselves a family.
That's right.
And we're very proud of that. It sounds to me like you have a family.
We do. We really, really do. It's
Yeah.
an amazing, everyone has their own quirks, different personalities, and it really creates an environment where you want to come to work.
That's awesome. In every great business or every great environment with leadership, always big part of it includes celebration. Tell me a little bit about how you celebrate with your team.
We celebrate
all the time.
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
Every Friday at noon.
Popcorn and Baileys, no problem. But we do. We celebrate lunches together. It could be a small thing. It could be just because we want to be together. Unfortunately, COVID restricts a lot of what we can do. We even did, with our very competitive leaders that we have, we did gingerbread building houses.
That's fun.
You know, and it was a lot of fun, but we find little ways to be together, even if we have to measure that we're 2 meters apart. Now, mind you, we test ourselves every day because that's part of our culture to make sure we provide that safe environment. So we do. We share lunches, we celebrate, we talk, even if it's just early in the morning.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So what's the vision for this energetic, dynamic, empowered organization? What's the vision for this place? Where's it going?
I am in love with packaging. But one of the things that I have not yet been able to do up until acquiring this company is leave some legacy for the packaging industry.
Okay.
So our commitment is to create amazing leaders that will touch other people and touch other people. And this is an infectious growth for the industry. CRS will be growing.
And that concept of through attitude, higher altitude, will drive the revenue just naturally.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
People love people. People love to be around people that are happy, that have energy. So why not make it a great place to work with and work for?
Right. So obviously you're having a good time on this ride, 3 years in.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So blessed, so honored.
Anything like acquisition or like growth beyond your business? Like is there Jack's part 2 somewhere?
We haven't even finished part 1. Definitely. It keeps going on. Actually, one of the things that we look at ourselves as, because we're very flatlined, we don't have titles, we're like the Louvre, pyramid inside of a pyramid. It's very, very strong structure. So we're in the process of building our own little pyramids so we can actually keep building.
That's cool.
So there might be a part 10, part 12, part 14.
Yeah. Who knows where it's all going to go?
Exactly. We are growing.
But you're sure going to have a lot of fun while you're getting there.
Without that, we're not going. So fun is our gasoline.
Look at this PAC. I've asked you to join our PAC IOU team. Yes. And you know, give me your outside perspective on that and where you think we're going with it. And I guess I'm looking for your encouragement, I wanted you here today to talk about your inclusive story. It's a wonderful story, and I wanted that to be shared with the world. And so what people should be doing with this concept? How should they be applying it to their own business?
You know, they talk about this a lot. Awareness is half the battle. And I believe in the packaging industry, and in every industry where there's a vortex of skills. What is skills? Skill is attitude, because you can do anything you want. And what PAC is doing right now is making people aware of the small little changes that we can make to packaging to make it inclusive, to make it accessible, to make it for everybody. And everybody uses packaging, so why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm all for it. And I can't wait till the day someone comes to us and says, we want this made with this braille or this whatever, like structure or this kind, we want to reduce plastic. We're here willing. We do 100% PCR and we're proud to do it. We capture. But the other inclusivity, not just from a package.
Well, we talk about championing for all, by all people, for all people.
Yes.
And as you know, and I think that you've been enjoying our initiative and being a part of it.
I'm so honored to be a part of it. I'm learning so much that I can bring to the table, bring to our team, and allow them to start running with it. We all look at packaging very differently now.
We do. Look at it, we have to close, but I wanted to say thank you so much. I love the story. I was so glad when I saw you 60, 90 days ago, and I thought of you instantly, and I said, you've got to be a part of this.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming today.
It's actually a real honor. Thank you.
My pleasure. And now, before we announce our final awards, I would like to once again thank all of our international and local speakers for a truly inspirational summit today. I hope we have achieved our goal to educate and inspire the global packaging community to champion package design by everyone, for everyone. Please reach out now to Andrea May to join the PAC IOU team. And a big thank you again to all of our sponsors for making today possible. And now our final PAC Global Award winners.
Our last set of awards to present today are for the inaugural PAC IOU category. For the Inclusive Design subcategory, the award goes to Bud Light Pride, submitted by Marks. Our judges said, this initiative and design strike the right balance in its ability to speak to Bud Light's traditional market, alongside the sensitivity of speaking to a historically marginalized group. A commendable objective, leveraging the scale and reach of the Bud Light brand to activate pride in a purposeful way. The charitable partnerships that happened because of this package reinforce how much went into creating this package and bringing it to life. Well done. A commendable goal of helping LGBTQIA+ people escape violence in a tangible way, highlighting Rainbow Railroad and making an impactful statement alongside a $100,000 donation.
Thank you to PAC for this fantastic award. As members and allies of the LGBTQI+ community, the team at Bud Light wanted to create a pride message that was meaningful and purposeful. And we can't think of any better way than to support Rainbow Railroad's incredible mission. Finally, a big thank you to the entire team at Marks for your amazing partnership and help bringing this powerful program to life. Cheers!
And congratulations to Jump Branding and Design for their entry named Shot of Gold. The story that brings this product and brand to life is inspiring. A social impact brand in the health food space that allowed this founder to give back to young girls in India. This is a creative packaging solution paying homage to the Indian origins of turmeric with its henna-inspired patterning. The bright orange, yellow, and pink background color blends are also reflective of the colorful Indian textiles and saris. Wonderful to learn that the Shot of Gold brand sends 5% of all profits back to India to support the education and empowerment of Indian schoolgirls. Well done.
Thank you, PAC Global, for this incredible award. I am so honored. Shot of Gold is a turmeric company that makes it easy to add this anti-inflammatory superfood to anything and everything. My dream was to make it easier for people to become healthier and happier, and at the same time give back to girls in India, a place that I was lucky enough to live in for almost 6 years. PAC Global, thank you so much for recognizing young brands that are trying to make a difference through their products. And a huge thank you to Jump. I am so grateful for your gorgeous, gorgeous designs. I wouldn't be on this journey without you.
The team at Jump would like to thank PAC Global and our great client Shot of Gold for this honor. What Shot of Gold is doing to support underprivileged girls in India is a great example of how CPG companies can use their success to make a difference around the world.
And now for the winners in the Universal Design subcategory. The award goes to Olay, submitted by Procter & Gamble. A true masterpiece, Olay avoided what many brands do and broke free from the tunnel vision of solving the needs of only one disability at a time. Instead, they have accomplished meeting multiple challenges in one: vision loss, blindness, and dexterity issues. Such a simple yet amazingly effective solution to the requirements of a currently neglected impaired consumer.
I literally cannot open the stupid jar on my own. I have tried all night to get this jar open. Please, please make it easier. Should I hit it with a hammer? I literally had to Google how to open this jar. Yeah.
Most beauty brands don't design products for physical disabilities. You spoke, we listened.
Can you make it easy to grip with one hand? Make the bottom grippy so it doesn't slip. It's hard to know the difference between products. Could you add Braille?
Our new limited edition Easy Open Lid, designed for women with dexterity issues, limb differences, and sight challenges.
I've never seen a jar like this. It's very easy for me to open.
This is great. Like, I have more grip with this. It's amazing, to be honest.
I can read it. It's written in Braille.
Accessibility just makes things better for everyone.
My review for this new lid would be like a 10 out of a 10.
Open to change, open for all. Olay.
Hi, I'm Drew DePore with Olay. I'm a white male with brown hair, a beard, and I'm wearing a gray sweater.
Hi, I'm Kate Patterson with Olay. I'm a white female with long brown hair and I'm wearing a black dress.
We'd like to say thanks to PAC Global and the jury for the recognition of this important work.
It is an honor to be recognized for this project, and it is a privilege to develop the first jar of its kind for an underserved consumer group. With the help of the disabled consumer community, we are taking the first steps in the beauty industry toward a more inclusive future.
Thanks to our project team, partners at Olay, and the support and encouragement from our leadership to help bring this idea to life.
Thank you.
And our final award for this category is Victoria Land Beauty, submitted by Victoria Land. An absolutely great design specifically targeted at the sight-impaired consumer. This makes the daily skincare regime much more user-friendly. The haptics are simple, an effective piece of communication that also enhances the aesthetics of the product and packaging for all users. This innovative system brings to light how difficult deciphering packaging by touch can be. This creates an opportunity for easy product identification through touch, with the wonderful addition of an embossed QR code that leads to audible product information. Congrats on this inspiring and useful innovation.
Wow, it truly is an honor to accept the Universal Design Award for Victoria Land Beauty's packaging featuring the Cyrus system of raised universal symbols. I created the Cyrus system to give the 2.2 billion people worldwide who have some degree of vision loss the equal accessibility and independence to experience and enjoy products. People with visual impairments crave independence just like everyone else. And with the latest technology and resources, it should be a standard that every product is packaged to be accessible. This award further recognizes the Cyrus system as a pillar of universal design and a path forward to a world of inclusive and accessible packaging design. Finally, I'd like to thank PAC Global and the entire PAC IOU Leadership Council for creating this category to further promote the importance of accessibility and inclusion in the packaging industry. Thank you so much.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, our final two Best of Show winners. The Best of Show in Brand Marketing goes to Consider Pastures, submitted by Pearl Fisher. Congrats on your big win! This award was selected from all submissions within the brand marketing category. The judges felt this was a great example of breakthrough, disruptive design that is wonderful looking, simple, and soothing. There are so many nuances and details elevating something as simple as eggs. The design and structure is both beautiful and sleek, yet has elements of imperfect and natural to mirror the story for their eggs. Their donations to nonprofit organizations are commendable, and the package stands out beautifully. Bravo!
Another fantastic award for Pearl Fisher New York. I'm very proud of my team. Our work with Consider Pastures, really kind of breaking down the brand positioning, connecting back to kind of sustainability and highlighting the sort of differences with inside poultry farming. It's fantastic to see all their work that we've sort of done with partnership being kind of recognized at the PAC Award. So a huge thank you again.
And now for our final award of the day. Best of Show in Package Innovation goes to Tim Hortons, chosen from all entries in the Package Innovation category. Congrats, Tim Hortons, a well-deserved big win. A great example of sustainability without compromise. The consumer enjoys a more premium package and product experience with much less waste than the traditional single-use solution. The integration of technology with materials that are both reusable and recyclable, along with the reverse supply chain to support collection, is impressive. This encompasses sustainability creativity in entirety. From consumer appeal and consideration to smart technology infrastructure, this is circular design at its best.
Hi everyone. Thank you to PAC Global for this award. From everyone here at Tim Hortons, we appreciate it so much. Thank you as well to Circular & Co. for their work on the returnable cup, to Tupperware for their work on the food container, and of course, a big shout out to our friends at Loop for their partnership and collaboration to bring this program to life. We set out with a simple goal in mind, to make reuse as simple as single use for both our team members in restaurants and our guests as well. From a packaging point of view, that meant that we had to develop something that delivered a familiar experience for everyone, but that could survive the cleaning process and aid gracefully with the bumps and scratches along the way. This pilot with Loop is our first step in our journey to accomplishing that. For the cup, we've leveraged the familiar maple leaf lid design, but adjusted it so it can accommodate a straw, so we can serve both hot and cold drinks. It's a double wall 20-ounce design that we've optimized to improve stack height so that we can be more efficient in distribution and restaurant operations. And we're very proud to say that the cup and lid are made out of 100% post-consumer recycled polypropylene. This means that we're able to take single-use plastics and develop something durable that we can leverage for this reuse ecosystem. We're also very proud of the food container that we've developed. It holds all of our baked goods and most of our breakfast and lunch favorites, and it's a stackable design that's easy for guests to carry, and the way that it nests means it's efficient in distribution and efficient for our team members as well. Thank you again to PAC Global for this award, to our partners for all their hard work, and to everyone at Tim Hortons who worked so hard to bring this program to life. If any of you are in or near Burlington, I encourage you to try the pilot and let us know what you think. Thank you again for the award.
Congratulations to our inaugural PAC IOU winners. You are an inspiration to the packaging community. Thank you so much. I love these Boss winners this year. Let's hear it for the exceptional brand design from Pearl Fisher, exceptional work, and revolutionary packaging innovation from Tim Hortons. Congratulations. Thank you to our generous hosts, Ron Davis of Davis and Bridgemark in Toronto, Canada, and Gavin Greenhalf of Air Global in the United Kingdom. Thanks to all of you for joining us today. See you in person in 2023.